So, Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Rockadam to the hopeful and sincere elect. Back again out here once, every week, as we're, inclined and supposed to do, prophesying, man. Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, he's on a tyrannical reign right now. You got the Biden inflation going on, food prices. He's saying that, food shortages is coming. He's not even hiding it no more. He said, look, man, them food shortages is coming, man. Look out.
That's it.
Beware, man.
Even Macron as well.
Yeah.
He came on and said, yeah, man, the food, basically they're all saying go and suffer, man.
Go to a famine, man. It's going to be a time of horrendous, the second of 16.
Yeah.
Stop, man. Yeah, man, we're in a time of some horrendous, horrendous times, man. Great evils is going to multiply. That's the times that we're in.
Like I say, notice how Bob was laughing. We said that, and why is that? Because the scripture says, "I will laugh when your fear cometh, man."
Mock when your fear cometh.
Yeah.
Laugh when your calamities,
that's
man.
It. Yes.
Proverbs the first chapter, and that's true, man. Because the Lord said that we're not to fear. Like when these things come upon the world, because we know that we've given the upper hand, so to speak. We've been given the foreknowledge to know what's coming. Not to fear, man, but, fear Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because he's the one that's bringing the judgment. But the Lord said in time of desolation and judgment, pestilence, we're going to laugh, man. At the time of destruction, we're going to laugh. We're not going to be in fear like the rest of these people out here. It's funny because I was just reading 2 Timothy 2:17, where it says the Lord has given us a spirit of, not giving us a spirit of fear, but it's about power, love, and a sound mind. So in these last days, we're going to have a sound mind. We ain't going to be bugging out like the rest of these people. That's why Isaiah 33:6 is going to come into play, man. The wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation, man. The fear of the Lord shall be a man of the Lord's treasure, man. A man that, in this faith, that got the know-how that the Lord supper with. They're going to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to the very bitter end, man. To the bitter sweet end, because they know what times we're in, and they counted the cost, and they measured down the time diligently, man. In itself, they're not bemused, and they're not fucking tranquilized. That's even how you say it. By this fantasy world, man. This false reality of Babylon the Great, the land of confusion. Tranquility, yeah. Thinking that this place is gonna go on forever, man. This place is about to be destroyed.
Yeah. And we can see it, man. Why can we see the brother quoted it? Second Ezra 9. Measuring the time where we're paying attention to the prophecies. We're seeing what's going on. Right, we're still like, yo, shit. This is this lines up with this. Then we're looking at the we're looking at the prophecy and oh shit, that's about to be fulfilled. Right. I mean, in my lifetime, I'm but a young man. But in my lifetime, they ain't been talking about straight up food shortages like that, man.
That was like unheard of, man. Yeah. That was like damn near heresy.
Yeah.
Even. That's like, what's that, you speak against the queen, the monarchy.
Oh, yeah.
Not perjury. Perjury?
No.
The other one. It begins with a T.
Treason.
Yeah, that would have been damn right treason to say famines is coming into the land. A world leader saying that himself as well. At that. So like they're telling you like they're gonna put you people through the ringer. Revelations 12:12, man. That's coming, man. Esau's about to refill them horns. Go ahead.
So like I was gonna say as well, it's probably because once again the apostles on down have been saying these things are gonna happen. Why? Because they're written in these prophecies, right? But we've been saying them, people would have been
people don't want to get the message until it's too late. That's the problem with Jake, man. They like to catch things when it's too late. That's why they've got the term black man time and all that. Jake like to catch things when it's too fucking late, man. So they're gonna get 2/3 are gonna get caught out there. When we've been warning you for the past over 10 years, 13, 14 years on the YouTube for the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, been warning you niggas that these times are gonna come. You niggas finding the hand saying, "Ah, yeah, away with that Bible and all that. That's the white man's book." Chatting all kinds of shit. Now you're in those times. What are you gonna do? That shit's gonna come knocking on your door, man. Each and every one of you, man, especially you scorners and scoffers. The Lord gonna prepare you for the worst desolations, man. You gonna get the worst because you heard the word and you rejected it. So it's even worse for you, man. So we're in some turbulent times, man. This is not a fucking game. This is life and death situations. You get that precept.
Yep. This is Second Ezra 16, and we start from 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
What days? These days that we're in right now. The prophets of old saw these things that was coming to pass. They had visions. They had interpreted what was going to happen in the future because the Lord opened their minds to it, man. To the point where certain men, certain prophets got sick. They got sickly seeing the things that was foretelling to come, man, in the future. That's why Ezra was just like, woe is me, because he knew reincarnation exists also. So he knew he was going to be here on the earth in the last days and the latter times. So he was like, woe is me, man. Like, who's going to deliver me out of this pestilence, these tribulations, the time of Jacob's trouble, when all hell breaks loose, when there's great famine, pestilences, there's no food in your stores, people are rioting, going ape shit on each other for the lack of bread, going crazy, going totally savage, man. Cannibalism coming back in a major way.
And Esau's priming these people for that cold heart, as the scriptures say, right? Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, right? Esau's been priming these people, so that's why, for instance, they were pushing all of that stuff about, anti-jabbers and all of that sort of stuff. You have people straight up saying, "Well, if they die, I don't care," right? All of those that desensitization, that's it. Right, that's what they were pushing. So then now all it takes is each basically push new propaganda, right? Such and such type of people. They're the reason why you can't eat. So guess what? It's going to be the same thing again. Well, cool. They can die. They don't need to get the food, right? And then once again, when it comes down to the ultimate, which is that MOTB, right? People are going to be just watching people just starving and be like, well, shame. You should, because you don't want to follow the rule,
Bad times, man. We can't stress it enough. Evil times, but as we said, we ain't stressing, man. We want these times to come because we can't get out of here unless these prophecies be fulfilled. It's called necessary evil, man. A necessary bad time needs to be accomplished before we can get the fuck up out of here, man. So let everything happen, man. Let everything fall away, man. This place is destined for annihilation anyway. Go ahead.
So it says, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mornings.
Yeah, the beginning of sorrows and great mornings, man. They're saying it on the news over there in China. Something happened with the chickens or something like that, man. Tons of chickens died off, and there's going to be a lack of chicken supply over there from from China and all that over there to the west. Because a lot of food and importation comes from where Middle East, China, all them different places, South Asia and all that. So all them ports and all that, they're going to be put to a halt.
That's it.
All them cargoes are going to be stopped, man. They're going to be halted, and they're not going to be coming in. And then you people are going to start slowly but surely, it's like you're seeing now, seeing the shelves get smaller and smaller, but the price is getting greater and greater. And then you got shrinkflation as well. Like the other day, I went to buy something from the local supermarket. Usually, it has a couple of it's like the satay chicken ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
So usually I have more like about 6 in the pack. And this time when I opened it, I only had 4.
Yeah.
So shrinkflation, but they're charging you the same price. So they're gonna slowly but surely they're lessening the amount of food you can get, but they're making you either pay the same price or more. Yeah. So things are getting drastically worse. But people are gonna start panic buying all that. But even that's not gonna save you, man. Yeah. If you ain't got your how about Shem Yahweh Shai in your corner, when all hell breaks loose, you're fucked anyway. It don't matter how much money you've saved or how much food you've stocked away, how much prepping you've got done, how many weapons you've got stored away. If the Lord's not with you, all that's gonna it's all in vain. That's not gonna save you. You're not gonna be able to deliver from yourself from the destroyer, man. The death angels out here. And it's gonna get bloody out here in these streets, man. They keep showing more and more post-apocalyptic movies. Last night or the day before, they showed 28 days later. They'll show Resident Evil, all these different movies, man. There's when some evil last times, man. They keep showing that movie Mad Max, and that film, those films was based upon, famine of food and water, people fighting, killing each other for just water, man.
Yeah.
Not being able to get the fresh water, there was going ape shit on each other, man. You know, cannibalism, all of that shit. That's coming back in a major way. Prophecy is being fulfilled, whether you want to like it or lump it, man.
Yep. It said the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
Famine and great death, man. Because what happens when there's no food? People perish, man. When they ain't able to eat, especially the elderly, man. They're gonna be. You thought COVID was bad. These people will be dropping dead in a heartbeat, man. When they ain't be able to eat for a couple of days, man. Especially when they're dependent on that shit, man. They ain't used to fasting or intermediate fasting. They're just used to eating, stuffing themselves because there's nothing but consumerism out here. So when the lights get cut off and all these things, they're also saying there's gonna be cyber attacks, EMPs, all that shit. So it's gonna be a conglomerate, a domino effect of things that's gonna fuck up a lot of people's lifestyles, man. Cost of living and all that. Go ahead.
So, because you were saying, like, for instance, I'll be at work and I'll message someone. It'll be like 12 in the morning, 12:30, messaging someone. Oh, can you get this done? Oh yeah, I'll get it done now. But I'm hungry, man. I'll do it after lunch. I gotta eat. And I'm just there, but you just had food. You just had your breakfast 2.5 hours ago, man.
You ain't gonna be able to get no snacks, man. There ain't gonna be no such thing as snacks. You just gonna have your main course, like the tin food and all that.
Yeah.
Esau's gonna be rationing them out. And if you don't take the chip, you ain't gonna get nothing, basically. That's how it's gonna be. That's why, because America just announced through Apple that they're gonna start using digital platforms for ID, your driver's license and shit now. The same thing with Ukraine, Jamaica with the Jamdex. That's what it's called, Jamdex, man. You niggas is crazy. And it's got an all-seeing eye pyramid as a symbol, man. It's all Masonic. So them niggas sold out. So those niggas over there in Jamaica, 2/3 are gonna get slaughtered by the Most High because they're gonna end up taking that damn chip, the MOT to the B.
It was the same thing with the whole jab, man. You had one of them. It was a fucking volcano, and they said the only people that can escape from the volcano erupting were people that had taken the juice. And you would think it was one of them. I forget which island it was, right? But can't. You look at that, But it was just like I remember just being like, it was like, yo, so you're not even gonna save the guy. You're just allowing them to die because that's what you're saying. You're not letting them leave the island, right? And to save to another island, you're saying, cool, die, right? From a fucking volcano. I mean, I don't know whatever happened at the end of that. How many people died from that? But it just shows you just how easy it is. He can make people compliant. Also shows just how much these other nations are already in compliance with this devil. Right, because once again, you might look at but it's Jamaica. Like Prince had that that individual that went over to Jamaica to escape from everything, but it's not. But now you're seeing this whole system is going worldwide. Why? Because Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
It's a new world order, man. And even Biden, 322, the other day, 22nd of March, which 322 is a Masonic number. They use it as a part of their lodges. The Skull and Bones, Yale University, one of the symbols is 322, man. And Biden came out and said, yeah, look, man, there's going to be a new world order, man. He just came out and said it live. Same shit that Reagan was saying, all them ancient old presidents, the Bush family. He just came out and said, look, man, there's going to be a liberal world order, a new world order, man. They're not holding back on what they're saying anymore. They're not holding their words, holding their tongue. They're actually coming out and saying what they're doing, the agenda now. He said there was a new world order in 322, which is basically pushing that Masonic shit. And then the other day, he said that there's going to be food shortages, wide inflation and all that. They're going in. This is the time of the new world order. They ain't going to let a crisis go to waste. They're definitely not going to let this shit go to waste. And they know they ain't got a lot of time left. They see the chariots in the sky. They know that the Lord's showing them something. The Lord's showing them, angels are showing themselves. They're not hiding no more. People are starting to see it more and more to the point where you can't even say that, it's a blimp in the sky or you're just seeing things because people are recording. You can't be saying you're seeing something that's not there, but you're recording it on your damn phone. It don't make sense. So you're obviously seeing something that's there in the sky. And it's the chariots, man. The chariots are showing themselves more and more in the rain and formation and all that, doing all kind of spiritual miraculous works in the skies and the heavens, signs in the heavens, man. So Esau knows he ain't got a lot of time left. He got to hurry up and do what he's got to do. And then that's it, man. Once he fills his belly, the Lord gonna step in and he gonna pull the plug in his new world order. And a real great reset is when the Lord, Yahweh Shai returns, man, to put this earth back in its order, man, to put these devils back in their place. That's the real great reset. Planet of the Jakes, man. That's the times we're in. New world order scenario, man. That's why they're pushing all this back and forth. The conflict going on with Russia and Ukraine. Now they're moving towards Saudi Arabia side and talking about Saudi Arabia because that's where the bulk of the world going to be over there in the Middle East, man, the Levant.
Could you just check up when the spring equinox was? Because it might have been, because I know it's usually around the 21st.
Yeah, because
sometimes
it's like the festival shit.
Yeah. But I'll just carry on here. Yeah. Okay. It says so it says verse 8. 20th of March. Okay. Yeah. So it's still that same period.
Like 2 days ago, 2 days before the 22nd.
Yeah.
So it's around the same period anyway. These devils, they use the signs in the heavens and numbers and all that. What's that? Geometry and stuff like that. They used all the numbers and that. So it's definitely on the point. Because a lot of high level witchcraft was going on during those couple of days, man. A lot of rituals and shit like that. Come on, man. It's no coincidence, man. It's all in the scriptures what these devils are doing.
Verse 18, I don't know if I've finished it. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the power.
Beginning of wars, and we're seeing wars and rumors of wars right now. So this verse right here, even though it's a small verse, is very deep, man. It entails a lot. Yeah. It's telling you what was going on in these last days in that one verse, man. That's how deep these scriptures are, man. And that's reiterated throughout the whole Bible, man. The prophets are saying the same thing different times in history, man. It was repeating the same message. And these times are coming upon the earth. They saw the same thing. They all saw the same visions, man. They saw the chariots. They saw the destruction. They saw America being destroyed by nuclear fire, man. They didn't see anything different than the other prophet. They saw the same. The Lord gave them the same visions, man. Knuckleheads out there don't understand prophecy, man. Go ahead.
It says, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
The beginning of evils, man. Evil means a bad time, and the Lord's the one that creates evil. He creates a bad time on the earth. He doeth good and creative evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So it's not left to anyone else. It's not left up to the Satan or the demons. They don't control what goes on the earth. They're workers, man. They're employees of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They do what they're told, man. So in these last days, they're gonna intensify as well, because the Lord gonna turn them up. That's why this year is the year to turn up, man. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai turn up. Is he gonna turn up them demons on the left hand side to fuck a lot of you fucking wicked people up on the earth? And he's gonna turn up Esau as well, because he's the top demon on the earth, man. Then he's gonna turn up on the right hand side with the angels.
And what I find, funny and not funny, but fascinating almost, just goes to show just how deep the angels, the Lord has the angels in terms of blinding people, is that people are actually consenting and pushing for these things that are actually negatively affecting them. Right, when they're saying, oh, you need to put sanctions on Russia, you need to do this to Russia, you need to do that to Russia, they're really saying you need to fuck our own lives up. You need to destroy our food supply, because people don't know because coming out more and more. 40% of the world's wheat comes from Russia and Ukraine, that region there, right? And then also, what's in that video that the elder posted, man, that guy, that American guy that lives in Ukraine, right? He was basically bringing out that, for instance, neon, right, which is used in microchip manufacturing, the majority of it is done in Ukraine. Right, so then there's already a chip shortage in terms of like what for your cars and this, that, and the other. So guess what? Now your electronics, anything with an electronic device, is now more expensive. All of these different things are these people are actually pushing their own governments to do this. Oh, you need to cut off the gas from stop buying Russian gas. Okay, cool, freeze them.
You people are stupid. You're doing all this all in the name of security. thinking it's for your betterment. But really, these devils are entrapping you.
Yeah.
Like the brothers that keep constantly, putting out, you have nothing. What was it? You own nothing and be happy. That's the new old order motto, man. That's why they're taking away your anything to do with licenses or property. Now they're getting rid of all this buying and owning. They want you to start renting shit. They're buying up all the land. They're buying up all the houses and shit. They don't want you to buy any houses no more or own anything. They want you to just rent it so they can take the shit away from you at any given time. They don't want you to be driving manual, petrol cars, shit no more. They want you driving electric so they can stop your shit. They can take your merchandise from you. They can, rid everything from you in a drop of a dime. Because everything's, part of the electronic grid, so to speak.
That's
So when everything shuts down, they can just lock everything off. You're gonna have no mode of transport, nothing. You can't get on the tubes or transport, trains, buses. But everything's gonna be shut down all at once, man.
They're putting together the IoT, the Internet of Things, and
you're part of it.
You're part of it. That's it.
You're a big part of that.
That's it. Because like right now, for instance, I go into my house. My my phone speaks to my TV. Speaks my
Alexa and all this shit
and all that. Right, light bulb.
Alexa on their fridge and shit. Huh?
Yeah. And then they're like, but you still have to go to the fridge.
you got like iRobot. People actually got robots in their house. They don't even realize, man. Watching your every move, tracking you. Working, creating an algorithm based upon your behavior patterns, right?
That's it. And the worst thing about it is, I remember reading something not too long ago, which was basically saying you may want to be off grid, but guess what? The fact, even just because everyone else is on grid, you become almost like an anomaly on the grid. So you stand up. So it's sort of like, okay, so what's this individual there? Like, who is this guy?
It'll be harder to trace. That's the only benefit you have if you're not part of the grid. That's why it's better to be off the grid, really, because the scriptures talk about us being as pilgrims on the earth. We're trying to be entangled in this world where Esau can track and trace, even though they can, because we've got phones, smartphones, all that shit. Esau knows where we're at all times anyway. He's got the satellites, we've got cameras all around the fucking globe. He'll find you anyway if he wants to. Track and trace your phone, all that. But we're not trying to make it more easier for him to, try and grab us and all that by putting a damn biometric device in our skin, man. Turning yourself into a walking antenna. You're just going to turn yourself into a walking antenna, man. You'll be able to track. See, you're right there. You're hiding underneath that bush there. You've got thermal reading and all that shit. Send the drone, shoot your ass, man. Like, we're going to make the job easy for this devil, man. Fuck that. Trying to be part of this damn grid, man. Off the grid.
And I wouldn't be surprised even just thinking about it. I wouldn't even be surprised if it was a situation whereby that device, you know what I mean. Basically, they'll find a way to make it properly connect up to your nervous system and all that.
It's going to be attached to your DNA.
That's it. And because I was thinking, you might get people that might want to chop off their hand, but then it's all in there. It's already all linked up.
It's already in there.
It's in you. And then
that's why they're making people take that jab, man.
Yeah.
Taking that jab shot, and then it's got certain things in there like graphite and all that that entangles to your DNA. So once you take that shit, it's going to be in your DNA. It's going to be part of you, man. You can't get rid of that.
That's the activation, almost, you could say.
It's like when Venom gets hit with the super villain. Venom gets hit with that venom, whatever, and then it tangles himself in his DNA. That's what you do when you take them jump shots. And if you take that yab and you take that ultimate jump shot, you take that chip. That's basically what you're going to be doing. Transfer, Johnny Depp movie.
Oh yeah, Transcendence.
Transcendence. All that transhumanism shit, man. Merging man with machine and all that. Right, we ain't supposed to be doing all that. That's against mankind. That's against the Lords, man. That's against Yahweh Shem Yahushai, what he set up. He didn't make man to be merged with machine, merged with metal and all that. That shit's not good for your body anyway, man. The hell, man. He wants to live like that. All bionic arms and shit like that. Esau thinks, but people think that's going to be for their benefit, like it's going to make you stronger or faster and all that shit. No, man. That's going to make you more controllable.
Oh, what was that? That was that good film.
Upgrade and all that.
Upgrade. Was it Upgrade the one when and it started controlling? That's it.
I can't remember the name. It was a certain name of the chick, Surge or some shit like that. Gave it some different name, and it was talking to him. So Esau can do that as well.
Yeah.
Because Esau wants to try and make himself like the Most High, like he seals instruction in your head while you're sleeping. So he can put a chip inside you, and then all of a sudden the shit starts talking to you, man. You start seeing shit that's not really there.
Well, Inception, and that was what that film was all about.
Inception, all of them films, right? All them sci-fi movies.
Yeah. Because the thing is, and people may be like, you know, Inception, oh, that was just a movie, but Esau's actively doing Inception. If you're watching the news, you've been incepted. If you're still wearing a mask, then the Inception's gone deep. Like, you know, they said there were several levels of the dream in Inception. You know, some, you know, the top level. God. Yeah.
Deep, man. It shows you that the mind's very deep.
Very deep.
It's very powerful. Yep. Depending on who's got control over your mind, bro, it's very, you know, it's detrimental, man. You know, that's why it's supposed to be in the hands of the Lord. He ain't supposed to be letting these devils tamper with your brain and mess with your molecules and your neurons and all this shit. And he's trying to make it like to say it's gonna make you smarter or more powerful. No, man, it's all about control, man. So he can turn your shit on and off when he wants. You know?
Go ahead. About bionic arms. This is Revelation 16:14. But they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather together to the battle of that great day of the God Almighty.
Yeah, and that's, you know, going into Esau and his technology, which really that goes into his weaponry and all that. But it's technology either way. Technology going into warfare, biomechanicals or whatever they call it, you know, all that engineering shit, CERN, you know, the spiritual realm. Esau's using that technology to do wickedness, man. You know, if you talk to Ezekiel 28 real quick, it tells you about the wisdom, the light, how you, basically, he's abusing his power, basically, man. The light that the Lord gave him, the wisdom that the Lord gave him, he's abusing it. That's why he's doing this all the shenanigans shit, man. And he don't care who gets killed in the way of it, man. He don't care who he has to wipe out. He's got depopulation tactics and all of that, man. Apostle Elder Gabar did a sit down yesterday about the Planet of the Apes, you know, in regards to that scene where they was reading the scrolls, saying beware the beast, man, you know, and how we make a desolation of you in your own household and all that, and a desolation of his own home. And then the apostle was going into how reading certain like quotes from these cabal elite devils, saying how the Most High made man, but Esau is the one that's made to destroy them and all that, like making, you know, like demonic quotes and all that shit, man. Like how they're just basically proud and they suffer from a God complex.
Yep.
They really think that they're the Most High, like the Most High created man so they can destroy them. No, he didn't, man. He didn't, man. You devils are this too power hungry, man. You get too powerful. You're too thirsty for that damn power. So you crave for it so much you don't care who gets destroyed, man. In the midst of that mission, you know, that false reality, man, that vain imagination of yours, thinking that your kingdom's gonna go on forever. You suffer from a severe God complex, man. That's a severe mental illness when you watch so-called white people, man. You can't help yourself, man. You're bloodthirsty as well, you know. So the Lord's got to put all that shit to a stop, man. Otherwise, there ain't gonna be nothing left on this earth, man. Literally, yeah.
No flesh to be saved, and that's it. You can see that in everything that this man does, making, you know, everyone, you know, linked and like relying on him for everything, man.
Literally, man.
You know, makes people sick just so that he can hook them in with you know, the medicines. Now you can't live. Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
Money making industries, man. You know, multi-billion, trillion-dollar making industries, man. That shit ain't gonna stop. From the 1900s when he created the NHS, all these different health industries, man. That shit was just a money-making machine, man.
Yeah.
How many people have come and gone through the damn NHS, man? They ain't sick. The more they've killed off more people than they've saved, man, or so-called cured, because it's not about curing people.
Yeah. And you know what? Because for instance, I had a friend who basically was from the East, and then when over there, the whole medical system, obviously saw Esau's medical system, but in reference to just the NHS, because it's free to the point of use, everyone just goes there for no fucking reason. Just go there for going there sick, especially these women, right? So then what happens? Then you've got a whole load of shit, a whole load of a big ass backlog of people. So then what that causes is what's referred to as medical negligence, man.
Yep.
You get a lot of people, which have relatives or whatever that worked in the health service, and one thing that they were told is a lot of people die because of medical negligence, man.
Yeah.
Just to back up the brother's point.
Yeah, it's just abuse of power, man.
Abuse of
Esau is
power,
not about curing people. It's just about maintaining your
dollars.
your illness.
Yeah,
It's
because
about
there's no
maintaining
money.
it. Yeah, because there's no money in the cure, man.
Hey,
If everyone was getting cured, there wouldn't be no NHS no more.
that's it.
Everyone would just be dealing with, holistically with the herbs and all of that.
That's it.
And this guy in the bush is getting some herbs and using certain barks and making a damn, herb out of it, a tincture or something out of it, and curing themselves, man, and praying to the Lord. But people don't, aspire to do that because they just trust in Esau, negligent system, man, like pharmakia, which is all witchcraft. It's all potions and witchcraft, man. To mislead you into thinking that Esau gonna kill your ass. He just got you there sitting lying in the bed, basically just waiting to die, man.
That's it. With no actual hope.
He made tons of money off that, man. He got so much money funding and all that.
That's it.
Even if you drop dead, they get funded.
Because you've got two major complexes in the world. You've got the military-industrial complex, and then you've got the medical-industrial complex, man. Hey, look at this Bola, whatever his name is, the CEO of that, that Pfizer, man. Yo, he's been balling, man. He's balling, and he's telling you, oh, you gonna need another one. Of course you're gonna say that. It's in your financial interest to say that. He wants to get all that money, man. Right? But I was gonna make a quick statement. Everything in Esau society right now is about a term called built-in obsolescence, i.e. something is built such that it's going to break after a period of time. Like, for instance, I was reasoning with my brother a while back, and he was the other day actually, and he was speaking about how they used to make cars, like the old Mercedes, right? They all basically were designed to last forever, right? Whereas nowadays, yeah. But nowadays, though, everything is built to break after a period of time. You think about your phone. Here is your phone really can only last 3 years because these batteries have something called a cycle. I.e., you charge it and it discharges. That's one cycle. Right? And they're only rated for like 700, 800 cycles. So by default, you've got to get a new phone in 3 years because
they make shoddy material.
Exactly.
It fits like. Breaks easily. You have to pay more to replace the shit.
That's it.
Fix it than you pay just to maintain it. Like, then you actually pay for the phone.
That's
it.
You
pay more just to maintain the damn phone.
That's
right?
it.
And the bills on top of that, you're actually using the phone like data and stuff.
Yep.
So it's all a ploy, man. It's all a money racket.
All a money racket.
And it all goes back to who? The wicked elite. All money, all circles back to them, man. Yep. It's just a cycle of debt.
Yep. And the reason why I was bringing that out, once again, to back up the brother's point, is if every single one of Esau's industries is about things you having to come back to him for more, what makes you think that the medical industry is going to be any different? The same companies that make medicine where one of the side effects is a heart attack will then make heart attack medicine. So it keeps you in that loop.
Cycle of death.
Yeah,
that's it, man. And that's what this industry pushes, man. It's not about curing you. It's not about helping. It's about how to cut the numbers down. Because remember, Esau's not about reproducing, man. He's about cutting. He's about depopulation. He's about population control. Whereas the scriptures, the Lord said that we should be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Esau's the total opposite of that. That's why they make bold statements, talk about that we have the right to kill. We're the harbingers. We're the destroyers of the world and all that. Because that's their spirit, man. Yeah. They was made to destroy shit. Yeah. They're against nature, man. That's why they go around cutting everything down, cutting down on oxygen supply, destroying the animals' habitations and stuff like that, because he's the ultimate destroyer, man. He's the son of perdition. Anywhere he goes, he leaves a train of destruction, man. And he enlarges his desires hell. He can't help himself. It's just all about that Crayola for him. It's all about getting those pesos, man. The more money this devil gets, the more he's satisfied. But he's got everything he wished for anyway. He's got everything he could ever want. He owns the fucking planet. But it's still not enough. Now he wants to own your damn soul, man. So this devil's a major hypocrite and a serious because he pushes all this greenhouse effect and all this climate change shit. But he's not about he's nothing about the climate, man. Philanthropism and all that. But philanthropists ain't, that's just hip words, man. Hip terminologies for basically top Satanists of the earth, man.
Oh yeah, real talk. Because especially when you look at a lot of them philanthropists,
They're the worst, man.
Yeah, there are tax benefits for doing all that charitable work, man.
Charities and shit.
You know, there's hella tax benefits.
Red Nose Day and all that.
Yeah.
That shit. I knew from when I was young, that shit was just a money racket, man. Every damn year, man. Children in need. They be abusing them kids and just using them. Jimmy Savile was on Children in Need, man. Bare times, man.
Oh, Jim will fix it.
He was one of the main ones on Children in Need, man. With the red nose and all that.
In
the meantime, he was popping little kids, man.
Oh, we've got a pedophile and a royal family, and then that's just
yes, right. You got a whole family tree of them, man. They ain't just got one.
What's going on?
Charles' best buddy, man.
That's it.
They was working in hand in hand. Charles was getting Jimmy to hook him up with little kids, man.
Yeah.
It's only they put Andrew on blast because he's just lowering the totem pole.
Yeah.
And Charles is next in line to be, on the throne. So they don't want to oust him yet. So all of a sudden they want to keep him in line, right?
But it's also almost like a thing of like just normalizing that shit. Because even what was it, that fucking judge, man? What, Judge Ketanji, whatever? She's basically accused of being very light on sex offenders, child sex offenders.
Hugging the Edomite.
Yeah, I think that's her husband. Yeah, just like Kamala.
Eve is a traitor, man. Yeah. Eve is the ultimate traitor. Her and the soulful white man are like this, man. Best buddies, man. Like from the womb to the tomb, man. Even the serpent.
Hey, I just remembered. In 12 Years a Slave, when the Edomite woman looked at the way the Edomite man was looking at the Jade. Yeah, man. Because
it's life from it.
Yeah.
She was extracting life from it.
That's it.
She hated her big woman.
Yeah.
But Eve is she's Esau's comrade, man.
Esau, man.
That's the lieutenant and comrade partnership right there, man. They're tied neck and neck when it comes to fucking up Jake, man. Especially the Israelite man. Eve is she's part of that serpent shit, man. She's a demon. She gonna get put to death as well. Contrary to popular belief, we don't need all you so-called black women, man, to repopulate in the kingdom. We can get any woman in the other nations and even of the northern kingdom and to repopulate the earth again. We don't need all you nigger women, man. So that means a lot of you nigger women got to die on the side, man. Evites out here. That's just exactly what you are, traitors, man. You're traitors, man. You're wicked by nature, man.
And you've been a key a part in destroying the nation of Israel, man. You've been a key part. You've what you call it, like you look at abortions and stuff like. Hey, because it came out. This was going way back to 2001 when they brought this information out. There was like between 1970 and 2001, I think they said like 200 Jakes that died by like murder and homicide, whatever. But then they looked at it at abortion. It was in the millions. It was like a million.
Murder. Don't you know abortion, killing your child, whether it's a fetus or whatever you want to call it, is murder, man. You're killing a spirit right there. You're killing a soul that's within a body, man. Even though you don't think it's a human being because it's a little fetus, you're killing that specimen right there. You're killing a specimen of the Lord, man. Something that the Lord created through you in your womb, man. That's what you was created to bear child, man. You women don't even want to do that no more.
Yeah.
You just want to murder the kids and then talk shit.
My bigger.
Yeah. All this BBL shit, man.
Self.
Yeah, basically.
And if I can say, but that selfishness is gonna play out in these last days, and when there's no food anywhere.
Yeah, you bitches gonna find out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bitches gonna find out the hard way. A lot of you. There's a ratio. There's a lot more women to men. And you women talk crying about equality. When your asses are getting drafted over there to the Middle East, let's see what equality does for your ass, man. Let's see if you're gonna be equal there on the battlefield, man. You women gonna be getting killed left and right, getting draped up by the soldiers, man, by your own ranking officers. It says that in the scriptures, the women are gonna be ravished.
Deuteronomy 28 and 56. The tender and delicate woman among you which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness.
And in the ancient world, you wouldn't even have to walk, man. You was carried everywhere you were going. You know, like what's the name? What's that? Princess what? Like when the car
Jasmine.
Jasmine and shit. He was carrying on the damn car. The little thrones and all that. Got a little slave, you know, walking through the damn king. You bitches didn't even have to walk, man. Those days is over, man. Those days is over, man.
Yep. So it says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not advance to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter.
Yeah, man. That's the part of the curse, man. And the part of the curse is also the Lord smiting his scalp. Yeah. It made it bald on the head, so you can't grow your, you know, lustrous hair no, man. That's not about the woman's glory, man. Her hair. So the Lord took that glory away from you, man, and your beauty, bitches burnt and all that, made basically out of shape.
The least attractive of all the nations.
You know, rent and all that, and then your vagina smells like hell, man. Yeah. That's why, you know, a lot of majority of the men don't even want to do with the so-called African American women because of the hygiene as well. But you got women talking about men's hygiene. And you women innately are cursed in your vagina, man. Sport is water for a reason. And even like Meg Thee Stallion and all that, apparently, you know, guys don't like dealing with her, even though she's an industry store like Western. Because, you know, going around her vagina stinks, man. You know, she got a smelly rotten vagina, man. And that's a lot of them industry holes in the you know, especially like rap, sports and entertainment. Man. A lot of them bitches, they're hygiene fuck, man. A lot of them bitches don't even shower. Celebs and they drag a post about them showering for days, Lizzo and all that shit.
Oh man, that's
big heifer, man. And this world proliferates that, pushes that whole BC. Like to say that's a good thing, like enjoy your curves and all that, you know. You go and all that shit. That's bullshit, man. You're supposed to lose fucking weight, man.
But I was just a line back to you. On the way here, I was pushing a trolley up a hill, and there was two black women that were overweight, taking up it was a free pathway that would allow people to walk, and there was two of them, the mother and the daughter, blocking up the whole way, and then you had everybody from Edomites cycling on the pathway to other people, like, and everyone was just literally, no one knew what to do, to the point where they basically blocked it off, where people were walking on the road to get around them. And I was
Well, so that goes to show a whole load of things there. That one statement shows a lack of awareness, lack of caring about people and their surroundings, like forcing people to just have to go and walk on the road.
It's selfish, man.
Yeah.
No accountability either. Bitches can think they get to do what they want, and be not hold no accountability for their actions, man. But the laws don't hold you accountable. That's why I said rise up careless daughters that are at ease, man. You know, many things shall you trouble careless daughters. Laws don't make women pay for your treachery, man. Especially against Israelite man. You don't pay, man. Because you love being a bed when Esau's bed wench, man. You know? You bitches are loving that shit, man. You're getting little benefits from society. Them days are numbered, man. Them days is over. When that bad inflation really hits, man, hyperinflation, and then food shortages kick in, man, you women are gonna get in the worst. A lot more women on the earth than to men. So a lot of you women are going to start dropping perfect bills.
Right, we start. Yeah. So Isaiah 32, we start from verse 9. But I'll start from 10 of John. Right, it says, and the man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and the covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
What man? Not just any old man. He's talking about an Israelite man in particular, a man of the Lord. Not just any Israelite either. Totally the men of the Lord, ones that are sober-minded, that's a sound mind, in this doctrine, pushing this word as a Syrian truth, they're going to be all right. They're going to be covered, man. The angels will watch their guiding their steps, guardian angels. Angels going to camp around their brothers, man. They're going to be all right. They're going to be taken care of. To the point where women are going to notice it. They're going to come flocking, man. They're going to come knocking on brothers' doors. Literally, man. Trying to get in, man. Trying to get some form of security. Stability, right? Because they know that you're different from all these other, you know, shuck and jive niggas out here. Sick.
The Apostle Gabar gave a testimony, you know, a couple of weeks back. He was just there like, man, you know, my woman, She hasn't hit me up in a long time. But then Russia and Ukraine thing. Oh, is this what you was talking about? You know, and you go, hey brothers, we all go and see that old squeezes. You know that those are, oh hey stranger, long time. Pretend like they just wanted to have a chat. No, but because they're scared and they knew that there was something about it. They were being a demon. They were being selfish. Oh, how I feel. You don't do this to me. You don't do that. But in that day, hey, what does it say in Isaiah 4:1? It says we will eat our own 7:1. They say 7:1 shall take hold of one man. One man saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. So what does that mean? That means look, I'll take care of myself. I'll do, but just please let me be around.
Help me.
You know,
Save me,
if I ain't gonna be a hindrance.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't gonna
be the way of yeah, you're gonna be quiet as a mouse, man. Don't speak unless you're spoken to.
That's
told
it.
to speak.
That's it.
You don't be quiet and do what you're told, man.
That's it.
Don't clean full of that shit, man. Don't be pushing all that westernized. I'm a baddie. Yeah, when all hell breaks loose, you see how much of a baddie you are, man. Take care of yourself, man. Just independent. You know, listen to too much Beyonce, man. Crying to pray.
Yeah, those of you that have trusted in the Western society, bro, with scripture says, what the trust of people shall be ashamed.
Yeah.
Right? And you go and see, like even yesterday, I saw these Arab chicks, they look good, but I kind of looked at them, kind of observed them a little bit more. And I was just there, like, I was like, oh, she's just basically a Babylonian. Right? They couldn't go back to, maybe they were from Dubai, one of them more westernized Arab countries, Emirates and that, right? UAE, one of them areas. But the point is, they were white women that were basically Arabs. They were Arab white women, But the thing is, their trust and their belief in that means that when all hell breaks loose, they ain't got no protection.
Ain't gonna be a lot of people gonna be, hitting their face in the fucking wall, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna be banging their head, thinking like, what the fuck is going on? It's gonna happen all of a sudden as well. Through the spirit of prophecy of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, men of the Lord been warning of these times, right? They've been telling you that these times are coming. Now it's here. So we're gonna be sitting down, relaxing, sipping your yarn, watching this place stabilize. You people drop dead, killing each other in the streets. While we're just waiting to be delivered, man. We're watching the Lord manifest his works. And, certain men are going to get hit with spiritual power as well. That's another thing as well people ain't aware of. Those men, that's why a lot of women are going to come flocking as well. They're going to see those men with that spiritual power. Like Robert had a dream about Elder Apostle Tahar. That he was, he had a garment on it. He had a symbol, a name tag on him, doing a Kira. And the brother, Abu Bar went into it. Broke down the word Akira and all that stuff out means similar to what Apostle Tahar's name is, pure, leader and all these things that, the characteristics of what that name Akira means. It's a Japanese name. And when you watch that anime Akira, he was all hemmed up in the hospital, all fucked up. Then the Lord gave him spiritual power and he started messing everyone up. So the Lord's going to give certain men spiritual power, right? They're going to be able to transform themselves, disappear, reappear, change their figures and all that, change their height if they want to. Like, they're not going to do some stuff, man. It's
going to be everything Esau wanted to do.
Yeah, everything Esau's been trying to do. Yeah. But he's just been trying to do it in a carnal way. Yeah. Medicines and his technology and, fucking elixirs and all that shit. Whatever it is, man. He's been trying to find a way to get eternal life through medicine, but it's not going to happen. That's only sanctioned to the Heavenly Father. Esau, the devil just rotting away like sport milk, man. You ain't getting no eternal life. That's not your blessing, man. You gave up your blessing to Jacob. You want some raw footage.
The only eternal thing you're getting, Esau, is an eternal extinction, man.
Yeah. That's right.
The only nation. Imagine you go. It's beautiful because here it is. Esau's been trying to get rid of the mosquitoes, trying to get rid of this pest, and so he calls it a pest. Right, but then when you actually look into the balance of the ecosystem, those pests actually have a very important.
Everyone has their place.
Even you.
Yeah. All the animals, I was watching the documentary on Netflix the other day. Yeah. Every animal has their part to play. All of creation has their part to play. They all create the leaves, do certain trees, certain plants, do certain things, animals, all of that stuff, man. Yeah. everything has its purpose, man.
That's it.
You're the only pest on the fucking earth, man.
That's it.
Devils,
That's
you're
it.
the pest that needs to be eradicated. Man.
When there's no need for you, that's what will happen. You know, and it's beautiful because I was watching, Green Planet. David Attenborough. And one of the things they went into was in Hawaii, basically, someone had brought like a plant that shouldn't have been there. Now, in its natural habitat, that plant had brought it had pests that would keep it under check, right? Meaning that other things could grow, and that one particular plant didn't just overtake everything. Exactly. So then, that reason bring that up once again is just to prove the fact that everything has a purpose. Esau will call it a pest, but it's important. Weeds, for example, you just mentioned weeds, right? When you see weeds, that is symptomatic of bad land. Right? So you've got a lot of weeds, that means the land is bad because the weeds have long roots. So it's bringing up the minerals from very low down up here at the surface. But what does Esau say? Instead of heeding the warning, what is Esau exactly? He's a smart man, right? Yet he doesn't know that weeds are a sign that he probably should stop, working on this land.
The land alone, that Esau don't. So that's what I say. Esau is a bad scientist, the ultimate piece of work, piece of shit on the earth. Like anything he does, it takes it to too far, man. He just destroys shit all the time. It makes up excuses,
Malachi 1 and 3, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Jehovah of hosts, they shall build, but I will pull down. And
you build your little architectural structures, and even all that's withering and falling away. Right? Your bridges, your buildings. That's why you have to keep reconstructing and what's it called? Refurbishing buildings and shit. The shit's piling away.
Yeah, but also you see buildings that were you get them old buildings like them old castles and this, that, and the other. Right, yeah, obviously some are like 600, 700, 800 years old, so they broke it down. But some of them, but you get a whole track, like the brother just said, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Windsor Castle, that's however many years old. You got certain castles up in Wales, up in Scotland. Fucking hell. Edinburgh Castle, man, where King James grew up, right? Yeah, may have had a little bit of refurbishment here, there, whatever, what have you. Certain things got destroyed by fire.
Yeah. What's that? Tower Hill? We burned off the archaeological painting and stuff. Tower Bridge.
They
burned part of that castle, man. Esau burned it because he wanted to get rid of the dark parts. That shit's still standing to this day.
Yeah, exactly.
You got new buildings and shit in the city of London and all that. They're always under refurbishment. They're twin tower type buildings, always under refurbishment. Why? The shit is, fucking too high maintenance, man.
I was about to say, because you spoke about that earlier on, so going back to that thing about building obsolescence, Esau can't make money. If he built it perfectly, he has to stop making money. Then his subcontractors that come in and fix those things no longer make money. So once again, basically end up in a situation. How then should you be taking his medicine and believing that it is ultimately for your actual benefit? Taking his juice, thinking that this man's industry is about making people better. He ain't about making people better.
About destroying, man. Yeah. It's all about your destruction, especially if you're Israelite. That's why Esau said, just like his predecessor Cain, murdered his brother in cold blood, first degree murder. And then when he came back as Esau, what's the first thing he said when he got his blessing? I'm gonna wait till my father passes. I'm gonna kill Jacob, man. So that's what he's been doing ever since then. He's been trying to plot and find ways to kill Jacob, man. To kill you tribes so he can get his blessing back. And he's not gonna get his blessing back. But in his mind, he's just determined in destroying us, man. Even if he can't get his blessing back, he still wants to destroy us because he's the first murderer. He's the ultimate murderer, man. He's that man of sin being revealed. So this devil, man, that's why the Lord's got to take this guy out, man. This devil, even to the point where he's going to try and fight the Lord. He's going to put himself on that level where he thinks he can actually try and fight the Lord and the angels, man. We're not going to take this devil out. It's too proud. Ridiculous. You don't fight the Lord, man. Come on, man. That's why it's just said the second Ezra 13, but the Lord, you won't even, instead of even have to lift up the sword, you just send out that laser beam of fire, and just like you didn't have to lift up the big. Dust these fools, man. These Edomites are too fucking proud, man.
And you know when you're like with your little cousins, and they're like you and they're trying to hit you, and you're just standing low.
That's Esau, man.
And then you go bam, and then they're on the floor.
Oh, you hit me too hard. Start crying. That's Esau, man. He that hit this boy, you're too proud. You need a serious reminder. What?
They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh have indignation forever. The Lord's going to destroy Edomites, man. There ain't going to be a single Edomite left after the Lord does what he's about to do on the face of the planet Earth. And he's going to make a worse example at East Edom than he has any other nation that's been upon the face of the planet Earth. Every single Edomite, as brother said beforehand, is going to be eradicated, and there's not going to be a single trace of them, man or woman. Man.
Yeah. Even though that's part of the first enemy mentioned, it says tabernacles of Edom, man. Psalm 83. So the Lord's got a disdain against you, Edomites, man. That's why the Lord said Isaiah 63, man. He's coming from you, Edomites, man. Who is this that called Bosra? Edom, the dying army, Bosra. The Lord is coming from you, Edomites, man. So-called white, you are the proudest devil. You had the nerve to put your illustrations of yourself as the Lord himself and the Heavenly Father, man. Up to the 16th chapter of that. The devils are too fucking proud. Man. They're showing on Netflix right now, Bridgerton or whatever. And that's not a true story, but it's based on real characters from the Middle Ages, Dark Ages. One of them was Queen Charlotte, man. King George III's wife. She's a so-called black woman. And in the program, she's a so-called black woman, red gold or whatever. Black women like that. Showing you that Esau knows our history, man, our past history, and that we was the one ruling during the Middle Ages. And that's like one of the number one programs on Netflix right now. People talk about it. But it's a so-called black woman playing the Queen Charlotte. But that's real history, though. We was actually mourning during the Dark Ages, man. That's not Esau's history. But he goes around changing shit like he did in Alexandria, Egypt. He goes around trying to rewrite history in his own image, man. Puts up his pictures and all that shit. Change times and dates, and laws. Because he's the damn devil. He's envious. He's jealous, man. But you're still going to go into fucking condition, man. You're still going to be destroyed. You're still going into slavery. No matter what you do, man.
That is First Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their image.
Yeah. And that's why you run around, Burnt Tower, Hayward Tower, Bridge Tower, whatever that castle was called. Part of that castle wanted to get rid of the artifacts of Jake's ruling during the Middle Ages and the Dark Ages, right? You're trying to hide that history. Paid all kind of historians, archaeologists, and shit like that to hide that history, but it still came out. Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord wanted it to come back out. Because it's part of the truth. It's part of our truth that we're the divine right of King. That's why we were warning during the so-called Middle Dark Ages. Because we knew our heritage. We knew that our ancestry goes back to Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Out of their loins was supposed to come a line of kings. That was part of the promises, the covenants, right? The divine right of King. So we knew that we was of that so-called black nobility. So-called black really Israelite nobility. So we're the natural rulers and successors of the earth. The earth was made for our sake. You Edomites tried to jump in on that. Like you did in 1948. You stole the land. And now you're over there, fucking up everything. And you're not even the people of the Lord. You're just destroying shit. Causing wars and shit.
Making people suffer. Because, regardless of what is actually happening over there, in Ukraine, which, fuck the Edomites, so, if you ain't of the elect, you ain't of the elect. What I'm trying to make, he's got people out there, whether it's all real, fake, or whether it's all a plan between hours or whatever. You got people out there suffering, man.
Your expense. Yeah. People dropping dead over there in Ukraine, Russia. At Esau's expense, man, because he wants to get his due on all the cracking, right? That's how much of a fucking selfish bastard the devils are. You don't care who gets killed, man. Even if it's your own people.
Well, when you look at some of the stuff, you know, you legit don't know whether that might actually just be like Ukrainian killing so-called Ukrainians killing other soldiers just to make Russia look bad.
No, it is.
You know?
It's Zelensky, man. Anytime you hear about some hospital or building getting hit, people in it in Ukraine, that's not the Russians, man.
Yeah.
That's Zelensky, man.
Yeah.
And his fucking cohorts, man. You know, he's mob. Because they've been talking, people been trying to come out and speak about that. That Zelensky's got his own mob out there in fucking Ukraine doing shit, killing people, getting rid of people, man. Yeah. They're not trying to push that out there in the news, man. It's all part of the fucking hidden agenda, man.
It's part of a proper regime anyway. There's information out there on that where NATO and the US actually infiltrated Ukraine, which we all know already. And
that's why they're trying to say there's no biolab.
Yeah.
There was plenty of biolabs, and then Russia was picking them places up.
Yeah.
So Russia knew where those places were.
Yeah. And then it became a thing of
They were bio. Do you know what they tried to say? They was like, no, they weren't bio weapon labs. They were bio. And he's there like, so shut up.
You story there. Some CDC, some CDC type shit. Ready to this. Even there's a new movie that came out. It's called Black Crab.
Okay.
One of them. I don't know if you know that famous like Russian East European actor, but she's like she does a lot of action movies. She was like she does a lot of Netflix movies. Her name is like something with Naomi something. And basically she was like she done another movie, What Happened to Monday, where she played very different characters but the same movie. She played that. She does like a lot of action movies. Basically Black Crab, new one, and this came out on Netflix as based upon the situation over there in Russia. And so there's a war going on, tensions, conflict going on. Russia or something like that. One of them countries, they have to choose soldiers to transport some capsules, but they didn't know what was in the capsule across the ice to get to the other side of wherever they have to get to, so they could stop the war. So, but not knowing that what they was carrying in those capsules is a biological weapon. So and then she released that movie. So it's kind of on the same point with Russia's situation with Ukraine.
it's the same similar thing with the Bond movie.
One movie, same shit.
The biological weapon. I thought it was a Russian.
I don't think it was at the end of the main.
I think it might have been a Russian in there. Yeah.
But it was the fact that they were basically taking DNA swabs from basically all of the people in the world in that film. Now it's saying in this film, it's the bioweapon thing.
Bioweapon was carrying capsules. The guy opened it. It was like, oh shit, what's this? They had, the cross and all that shit. The chemical symptoms and all that shit. It was like, oh shit, this could end the world. That's what Esau's all about. Destroying shit. And then, through casualties, through the ADKO, trying to come out with a solution. All the casualties and deaths that are going to occur, all the through chaos. He's the one bringing the chaos, man. He's orchestrating. So that situation over there in Ukraine, Russia, that's all being orchestrated, man, for a bigger agenda, which you probably can see right now with this whole digital platform shit that are coming out, man. Trying to, get a great reset on the pocket, new on all of that.
I'm kind of quick info because one of the groups in Ukraine that's now been actually amalgamated into the National Guard is called the Azov Battalion. And the Azov Battalion is basically a you can look it up on Wikipedia. They're actually described as a neo-Nazi group, originally from the NATO region, that went over to Ukraine and pretty much went in there as part of that whole Western infiltration setup that they have. And then they over a period of time, now 2014, they got amalgamated into the Ukrainian National Guard. And when you look at their what's it called? Their emblem, it's literally the swastika. It's the swastika.
Sideways.
It's the swastika.
Sideways.
Yeah. You know?
But it's a Nazi side.
Yeah. And then Putin was right what he was saying. And then you have that was in Ukraine, and you have these simple fucking Westerners. But the leader of Ukraine is Jewish.
Yeah,
How can there be not? But because these people are stupid. Like,
yeah, well, so was Hitler. There was the BBC fucked up. because they basically was interviewing somewhere in like Ukraine or whatever, and then like a Ukrainian soldier walked by at like certain or whatever, and apparently he just basically had the symbol, one of them, symbols on his thing, you know. It goes to show you, man. This is for people because I was seeing lots of Hollywood production. That's it. Because people basically, I was reading people's responses on that, and not that particular, but like other things when it spoke about neo-Nazis in Ukraine. It was but there are neo-Nazis everywhere. But you just funded, you just gave them weapons, and then obviously we know Yaba Shimra Shavra as well. We ain't this thing that ain't gonna continue, but that's gonna be fucking Al Qaeda all over again. Because that's what they did the last time the Americans backed anyone against the Russians. You got Al Qaeda, which, if I'm not mistaken, Al Qaeda in Arabic just means the list.
Taliban, all that shit, man. All influence, man. All influence, engaged with the CIA. You got funded and all that from the CIA and shit. And after a while, they turn them into traitors. Yeah. Turn them into terrorists and shit. They make them the hitmen. That's what's happening right now.
Because Esau has to have a war, right? What was he had with the war on drugs, right? The war on communism, the war on drugs, the war on war on terrorism, the war on the Vid. Right now it's the war on the war on Russia. He always has to have a boogeyman. You think about what's the word that you had communists, then you had we had fascist, radicals, your now anti-vaxxer. Then it's going to be, you're pro or whatever, what have you.
Everyone's talking shit about people. They don't even understand.
They do not understand
what's going on. Coming out saying, they don't even understand what's going on. They're just following the trend. One person said, doing the guys, everyone's saying, don't even understand what's going on.
You know what I noticed? Like when I'm on Twitter, the same people who 2 months ago would have had 3 syringes in their Twitter bio, because that's what they would do. They'll be like, Molly, 3 syringes to basically tell the world I'm back, right? Now them same people now have 3 Ukraine flags.
They're having a free Ukraine concert, like a world peace concert on TV today or tomorrow or some shit. With Ed Sheeran and all these people, they're actually doing a fundraiser concert. All these fucking popular pop singers that do a free, heal the world type shit, free Ukraine. They're making all kinds of money off that shit, man. Like they ain't made money off that already. It's all the money racket. See, it's all a point. And it's like Lord of War, man. Who's ever controlling both sides of the war is basically like the benefit, man, which is ultimately the bankers. I just watched another movie the other day, Hannibal, man. Mel Gibson, man. It's a new movie, like a B-type movie. But Mel Gibson's in it, does like scenes and all that, the beginning towards the end. And they show you, man, the whole Panama situation was all about a Lord of the War strategist, man. Like, wag the dog type situation. Where, you got the bankers or whatever, the CIA funding both sides of the war, but trying to act like they're the peacemakers. They're coming to stop the war, but they're funding both sides of it. They're funding the weapons on the one side and funding the war on the other side, and then you got the world leaders in the backdoor meetings orchestrating, the scenario of people getting killed for the sake of their agenda. That's what these devils do, man. Always a full ideal scenario, man. This is how it's the same fucking scenario, same formula that they use every single time. It's never been changed since the time of Napoleon, man. Always fucking orchestrated and, paid oppositions and paid the other side to fight against each other. And then they're the ones that get the benefit of, the war, winning the war at the end. They get the money and all the resources from it.
2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of this device.
Yeah, you can't be ignorant, man. It's the same formula this devil's been using throughout history. But people still ain't hip to it, man. But certain people are hip to it now, especially over there. You come from like places over there, like the Middle East, different Saudi Arabia and all that. They're hip to what Esau is doing because they like always come into man's country and do this shit, pay man off to do this, insurgents, to come and infiltrate and set up, you know, whatever conflicts you want them to set up, and then you come in, try to act like you come to the rescue and all that bullshit. And really, you're the one behind this fucking going on. A lot of them countries in the Middle East, they know Esau's about the Arabs. They know that's why they call him the white Satan and all that, the great Satan. They know what is so white, but when he comes to town, they know what he's coming to do. There's issues, man. There's conflict. All of a sudden, there's destabilization and all that shit. As soon as you see the Peterbacks come in with their suits and ties, man. Right.
I was gonna say, you got Rishi Sunak as well, who's in that same vein. With him, his wife got paid 12 million from a company called Infosys, which is a Russian, it's an Indian company with Russian HQ, and essentially, like they asked him live on TV, and he basically, in a nutshell, said, "Yeah, but I'm an elected politician, and what my wife does is her business." And pretty much in a nutshell, saying she's not pretty much in a nutshell, trying to brush it under the carpet. And ultimately, man, like going into man, these politicians are all be behind the scenes, splitting the bread, making splitting
they're all birds of a feather, man. It's all bullshit, man. In front of their cameras, they're all acting like they're against each other. Behind the scenes, they're having, you know, number 12 parties, number 10 parties, right? That's why Bojo and them, they're all celebrating, drinking, people dropping dead and all that. Because they got you by the balls, man. They got you people, they're laughing at your expense, they're drinking at your expense. You know? That's why they're having them parties behind closed doors. That's nothing new. They've been doing that.
Well, you know, just even on that, this is where it's like in this world, nothing is real. It's all a facade. It's all fake.
It's like, why did they bring that out? But they didn't bring out the clips of when they were sacrificing together at night.
Exactly.
You see,
People hearing loud screams and shit like that.
You know, they were sorry, you know what I'm saying? They were doing that and you know, all manner of nasty stuff. Same thing with the whole Me Too thing. Like things talking about, you know, he made me do this. But everyone knows Hollywood is all about being about the casting couch, and their favorite is Jake, man.
Yeah. Especially little kids, man. That's why you Nickelodeons and you ever think about letting a kid go on Nick? I would count that shit off Disney. Yeah. Bro, you ain't got none of those shows, man. Yeah. Trying to break my little kid. Do what? Push your little fucking, you know, your little mind agendas on it, man. Fuck up their minds, man.
Yeah. So they, after the show, they always end up messed up, innit?
Fuck, man. They get abused, man. Little kids. That's why every time I see a little new kid on Nickelodeon or some shit like that, man, shake the head back down, man. Got another one, man. Esau getting ready to tear that beauty up, man. I think one celebrity, their daughter's on Nickelodeon, daughter or son, he just put them on Nickelodeon recently. Damn, man, look at that, man. Niggas are just fucking stupid as hell, man. But they're dreaming their children anyway for that lifestyle, man. These wicked ass celebs are hard people. A lot of them, because they've gone so far with it, they're grooming their little children. They're grooming their little children for that lifestyle, man. That wicked ass ritualistic lifestyle that they got to live, like they lived when they were 3 and 4, man.
You had the what, Home Alone kid, man. He went for
Harley Pope, he looks sad.
Oh yeah.
Man. He looks hard, man.
Obviously, what you got? So what's that?
All them guys, the Disney, the Goonies and all that. All them guys, the Goonies, all them old school movies and all that. Yeah. The 80s shit. You guys were tough inside out.
Leviticus 18 and 21. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God Jehovah. I am the Lord.
Yeah, that's what Esau does. It makes, you know, Jake, you know, conform, you know, sell out for little menial things, little fortune and fame. That's temporary fortune and fame. And then at the cost of, you know, sacrificing the kids or family members and all that shit. Jake has been doing it like it's nothing nowadays.
Oh, the Smiths.
I was gonna say, I've got a quick on what you said. Because with the Disney family, they're, you know, like part of that hierarchy Illuminati structure, because they pretty much set up like until, you know, brothers woke up and you know, got of age. When you're a youth, watch Disney, and that's your whole expectation of what a relationship is. Like, you feel like you gotta be a simp and you know, be that beast for beauty, or you know, that's so white type shit. But you had recently, in the spirit of their tongue falling upon themselves, a lady by the name of Abigail Disney. I can't call her a lady, a devil. By the name of Abigail Disney. She's she's the granddaughter of Roy Disney and the grandniece of actual Walt Disney himself. And she basically come out and said, in the US, the economy is an upside down structure in which many people are constantly working to make ends meet, while wealthy individuals are sitting on their rear ends, not paying taxes, taking advantage of the system. And you know,
of course, that's what they do. This is their system. They say up, so of course they're gonna reap the benefits of it. Everyone else, they're gonna have to pay something. Right? Well, when everything happens in the city, we didn't also come for first taxpayers. Right? You gotta pay for this. They don't pay for shit. They just take the bonuses and go on their little holidays on their little yachts. You know, go on their little private islands with my man Epstein and, you know, do their thing. But they make you pay for it. It always comes from the taxpayer. Yeah, you guys gotta pay for it. Yeah?
Oh, the whole controversy at the moment with the energy, where it's like, which you know,
Energy prices.
you have all of these companies are made, you know, major profits this year. Now, major profits in the tens of billions. Yeah, your gas bill's going right now. Yeah, you can be like, oh yeah, but you know, it's because of futures, it's because of this, it's because of that, right? It's because when there was war. You can give all of those excuses as you wish. But the bottom line is, if it was a caring society, you keep a whole load of people gonna be through. This is the thing. You're gonna have a load of people that are gonna be through. They're legit gonna have to decide between, you know, heating their homes.
yeah,
You know, exactly, all of that sort of stuff, man.
middle class people going to feedback. That shows you how fucked up it is.
So they're gonna be living actually on the street, right? Living in tents. That's their tents. Now in America, they start giving money just to clean up the tent areas that they stay in. The homeless, giving the homeless people money, but they're paying them all the guys that got to clean up the surrounding, you know, pay so much money. So they're actually pushing it. That's why they don't want you to buy and own anything, bro. They want you to rent. So when the time comes, you can just keep you at your house. You're gonna be living on tents in the street, man. Then ultimately you're gonna be living in concentration camps. That's it. That's gonna be a new home, man. But the other day they just said, oh, they're coming out with a shooting squad. They're legalizing the shooting squad. Guillotine, yeah. The guillotine, all that shit's coming back. That's coming back into more, man. So everything's playing out. That's why the beheadings that John the Revelator saw is actually going to come to pass, man. He actually saw men's heads getting put into a guillotine and chopped off. He saw just past the bills of, you know, basically capital punishment of the shooting squads and all that, man.
And if I could say as well, because the people might be like, oh, but there are easy ways of killing people. But as has been brought out, the benefit of the quote unquote, the benefit to the elites of the guillotine is it keeps your organs healthy and intact. You know, they can industrialize it if you will. If you what you call it? If I remember watched a clip, it was from like Black Wave, you know, black and white. There's no audio. Sort of like some of the last what you call it, guillotine executions in France. And then when you see the way that whole shit was, it was because the way they designed the bed, when the thing comes down, it basically causes your body to jump, and then it rolls straight into the coffin. Your body rolls straight into the coffin, and your head goes elsewhere. So that exactly, Nicky. So you see how these can industrialize butcher shop. You can butcher shop. You can butcher shop.
I think we're about to have to carry the axe like in the party. You got to hack away and take that. They don't do that, no. So it's got technology. Swipe down, your body falls here, your head falls there. You know, separated and do what you got to do.
Straight up, just freezer, straight into the freezer.
You need to go down through a shoot.
That's it. Yeah. And then all your organs, your liver, your this, your that, they go
Freeze that shit.
freeze it. Man.
That's sure nice. We're coming into some perilous times, man. Evils, man. That's why, Jake, man, you don't understand the times that we're in, man. You people are going to be in for one, man. You're not going to let people rip on your ass as well. All the scorning and scoffing, all the hatred shown towards his word, towards his men. You're not going to, he's going to laugh, man. He's going to put in your face, man. You're going to laugh at your calamity when you're getting your head chopped off, you're getting shot by a shooting squad and all that, you know, in the middle of down the street or whatever, man. Firing squad is what they call it, like to show you people like equilibrium, set your ass on fire, the furnace, you know, like some harsh judgment. Like, no one's gonna be laughing, man. They ain't gonna be crying.
Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children.
Many great Israel, man. He done to them on earth. And at times, you know, and God pride. God pride.
So everyone on this planet is proud as hell.
Yeah.
You hear the way these people speak, man. It's proud as
Selfish,
hell.
proud, despair, like forgotten about the Most High.
Yeah.
The only Son. Ignorant, yeah. Fuck, you know.
And you hear people speak about the Most High.
It's bad. Especially these middle class
Like
people,
it
man.
close to themselves. Like,
They talking whole kind of. The thing is, he may be making what to them is a light joke.
But it's like, nah, hey, the Most High. Heard the scriptures talk about every idle word.
yeah.
Even a lot of these satires and TV shows, things like The Simpsons, Family Guy.
Family Guy always talking shit, man. Like them Jewish devils, man. Family Guy motherfuckers. They're gonna put some special change in there.
Everybody's beautiful because they normalize it and put it into
The mainstream such that, you know, regular Joes just repeat those kind of jokes to their own detriment.
Put your subconscious, man.
Inception.
Put shit back to sun. That's why they push it in their car.
Oh yeah, I remember something like the
Our elder brother Rakas spoke about in terms of like TV and whatever. Is one of the things that they push on TV a lot is
disobedient children. But children's like, man, fuck you, mom. And they flip the script where, like, I remember I was watching a TV program. Here is the kid has been an asshole. This little nigga has been an ass. You remember Arrow? The Arrow with the DC Arrow. This nigga, his kid has been an asshole around his dad, right? Yeah, his dad rightly trusted him. He was like, not obviously his TV still here, but he chastised him, innit? But at the end of the episode, he's apologizing to the son. And you just did like, nigga, like, what? That's that witchcraft. He was teaching the parents, oh, you gotta, okay, whatever. Nah, you're their Lord. Oh, you're over them, man.
Can't have no control, no expressive, your own seat.
Yeah.
The only one that can discipline is the teacher.
Yeah. Hey, push him Eminem when he's talking about I hate my dad and yeah, you going off for that, man.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, we was both parents, isn't it?
some incest, some shit. You know, even other like Simpsons, it was cool that spread all that, kids, not obedient to their parents. It was pushed out of the park. That's that one of the most popular ones. The ones where the children are disobedient. That's the most popular cartoons out there, man. Animation of Dennis Menace and shit.
Got one real quick. This is Habakkuk 2 and 15.
Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him,
And making him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. And I bring that one out because that drink represents philosophies, man. Right? And that's what all Esau does. When you do anything, when you go on, you see anything, Esau's pushing an agenda at you, man. Right? Once again, we spoke
about Inception, which I would say the brother was basically breaking it down. It was like that film was basically, it wasn't really sci-fi, it was basically advertising. Right? You see, that's the thing. It goes into like how when an opinion is so deep down, you think it's your own. Just like you speak to people about the juice, they're talking about it as if it's their own opinion, but really they're just regurgitating the opinion. Their opinions on this whole thing about Ukraine and Russia, they actually have no understanding on the matter, right?
That's why they call it sheep, man. Sheep. Say something, God enough times. You start to fucking actually believe what you're saying, man. Even if it don't make no fucking sense. You just be hearing it so much in your subconscious, you start actually believing the shit. The next minute you got, you know, you turn into a fucking boss.
Hey, once again, and then also to finish up as well, it's like with the TV as we're speaking in, right? You know, you're seeing all of these different things, all of these different ideas. People think that they actually believe it, or they actually.
But it's just witchcraft that's been fed onto them. Programming.
The pro is MK Ultra. That's like MK Ultra on the highest, one of the highest levels. Anytime TV.
Okay, so like you was mentioning about, you know, TV and like how you grow up, you know, men grow up believing you've got to be a certain way. In every TV show you see it where like you've got like a young kid, even in what was that film, like Cartoon Dancing, banging, Invincible. Even here it is your invincible son, but then you're going up to the black bitch like, would you go on a date with me? Like, bro, you're the second strongest man on the planet. Yeah, bro, you used to be like, yo, come with me. That's what you should be doing.
Supposed to be like people like Johnny Bravo. That kind of swamp. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but it's his dad though. They can't go his dad on point. It's like your mom. She was like a pet.
He knew what he had to do, man. He was sorry about it. He knew what he had to do. That's it. He knew that he should. And he was basically saying, man,
That's it.
It's supposed to be over. When you like, fuck it up, son. Son didn't want to eat. He's over there in the West for too long.
Yeah.
It's super nice, man.
As opposed to say, man, you niggas have been in America too long, man.
It's super nice. Use your backbone. Use your drive. Especially for around women. They break you down. You know, society breaks you down over time.
In the midst of anyone.
He saw me telling you, take the bass out of your voice. So this whole system, this whole world is set up to be masculine. It's basically stop you turning to be in the house now. Make you be a simp, a serf, man. Basically a sheep. It just follows orders, man. Like you got them guys in the military, even though they're not fighting a holy war, a just war at that. But they're just following orders, man. Even though it says their own set peril, they're just following orders, not just obeying order. Even when you know in your subconscious, like that's the fucking wrong thing you're doing. Like you got basically saying you're just a robot. Satan.
With the whole Afghanistan thing, they had a guy like a Edomite after America pulled out, and then you know, the Taliban had taken back control over the land. There was an Edomite, a British Edomite, and they interviewed him on one of the news channels, and he basically sat there with both his legs were missing, and he was sat there saying it was all a lie. I lost both of my legs.
Well, hey, you read the scripture earlier on, man. You know, you said Edomite, but
You know, people destroy for lack of knowledge, but we obviously concentrate on the Israelites, right?
if you actually looked at some of the things, you'd be like, this is some old bullshit. So it's more for you.
We're going out there to fight that war on the front. There wasn't a draft for Afghanistan. There wasn't.
You chose to go to war, man. You know, it was better for you to have been fucking unfairly, court-martialed and what was it? Something dishonorably discharged. Would have been better for you because at least you would have your legs, man. Hey, he may not even. You said it was up to his waist, or
Literally the stocks, isn't it?
Stocks. Oh, you're lucky if you know, because you get some people that get fucked up so much they may not even have a rod anymore, man. You know. Hey, because even if you ended up on the streets, right? Guess what? You could at least got some.
I'll granted you know. Only trying to sort of anyway. That's the money. You're fighting for the wrong team. That's the queen, man. That was like that. I'll kill myself for the world. Come back with missing arms and limbs. You know.
To end up broke anyway.
Yeah.
You could get court-martialed and end up broke, or you can go to or potentially go mad over there, PTSD, and then come back, and then you're still broke living on the streets. The scripture says that in Sirach. It says that, a few things I hate, and it says at the end, a man of war that comes back to poverty, man.
You saw love there, right? Yeah. You saw love. He brags and boasts about his military. Yeah.
These
They're
time,
just expendable. That's fine.
that's it. These time Raytheon's making between 800,000 to $1.5 million
per Tomahawk missile. So that day that the US and NATO allies dropped 100 Tomahawk missiles on over there in what do you call it in Libya, man. That was like that was well, imagine making 100 million a night.
Just there counting the money, man. That's it. Counting the stacks. So yeah, pays off both sides of the opposition. And he's making the benefit. He's making the most money out of it. Selling weapons.
So you ain't got the money to look after your veterans. You ain't got the need and desire to look after your veterans.
You really want money to take care of your own, economy, man. You're putting all your money in, your sources into, the resources into, weapons of warfare and all that, military. But then in the meantime, the average citizen is suffering. You can't defeat the average citizen. Yeah? And at the same time, you're telling them that you're going to increase their taxes, their cost of living, and all that.
For $20 billion to Ukraine.
Yeah, it's throwing away money like it's nothing.
Wow.
But you really use that to feed your own economy, right? Better your citizens' lifestyle. Resources yourself, bastard. That same blessing that you got on the school is going to be the same way you're going out. That's going to be that's your blessing and your curse.
Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. For the forward is an abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. Yeah. Like a lot of you Jakes, probably are some of you already there in Ukraine fighting for this man. You had the other guy, that crisis actor, talking about, yeah, I'm going to fight for the Ukraine thing. And you disappeared.
Right. You got put on blast. That's right. Shit got put on blast. It didn't last too long, about a couple of days. He just went back to his regular data.
But you Jakes, like even when the bid happened as well, and in China they were feeling sorry for those Moabites, and then you had the videos come out on social media of so I think it was that like Nigerian Jakes that was studying over there in China just getting fucked up. Then the same happened in Ukraine. Like what you Jakes don't understand is you feel sorry for all of these other nations, but even in the midst of their own crisis, they hate you. Like and they
show their hatred.
Hey, it was that black chick on Loose Women I saw a clip on online. It's like, what gets me is even in times of all of these people have time to still be racist. You read the script, nothing but destroyed for lack of knowledge. How can you not know this devil is the devil? That's why the scriptures talk about experience. We spoke about experience.
Everyone's naturally racist anyway.
That's
Everyone's
it.
for their own race.
That's it. Hey, you want to know if someone's racist, man? Then you might talk to which they might talk to, let's say, an Elam, right? And you be, hey, brother, you be pretending to chop it up with you.
Every brother, every time send brother.
Yeah.
Let you try to approach your daughter.
Yeah, that's it. Or tell them, oh yeah,
You know, my ex was, from your country. All of a sudden, say, oh yeah,
Stay.
yeah. And then in back of
Man,
my
find out that his daughter or something like that slept with a guy that was with he's gonna kill his daughter. Honor killing. And then try and come for the guy that slept with her.
I like you try to, a lot of you Jakes are into Islam as well. Like you try to go to Saudi Arabia and try to deal with them. They'll say, wow,
what they call you Abid over there? I think it was Abid, slave.
Yeah.
You
won't even get like with most people that face the death penalty, they put them through the system where they go into prison and they'll just kill a Jake out there. Like you won't even get that. You'll just get killed and martyred out.
The proof of that is you had that had one of them sheikhs or something like that. He just killed his slave over here in the UK, thinking that he had natural diplomatic immunity or something. He thought he had diplomatic immunity. Well, I forgot how that story ended. But these men would just do shit like that. Just kill a man. Right? So imagine what actually happens over there in the Khashoggi. Khashoggi, the fucking journalist, man. Yeah. Mohammed bin Salman, the Sultan of Dubai, whatever. He straight up had the nigga chopped up in the hotel room, right? chopped up the journalist Khashoggi, or however you say his name, right? Put him in a fucking suitcase. Had another guy try to dress up like him, put the moustache on, wear his clothes. That's what the guys did in a foreign country, man. So imagine what they're gonna do to you in their own country, man.
Yes.
Hey, the whole thing, the whole controversy of the Qatar 2022, right?
World Cup. They know that there's a whole load of
Slave labor that happens over there as a part of that.
people come over to work, their passports get taken away from them, right? That means basically you ain't leaving. You're now my servant. You work here, right? You got a lot of Elan that go over to those countries and just get stuck there. They can't leave, right? They're just in full subjection, right? You know, but then but Russia. But these people are, oh, you can't go to Russia, you can't travel to Russia.
But then they're gonna be watching, they're gonna be traveling to Dubai. But then here it is, the sheikhs and all of them be doing all manner of heinous things.
All manner of heinous. Here it is, which fucks on feminism. Here it is, you got feminists that go over to Dubai, but Dubai don't do any of that shit. Showing you the hypocrisy of these people, man.
People ain't drinking a brew dog because apparently the guy is a bit of a cunt to women and this, that, and the other. So it's okay, cool, but this whole society is just full of wickedness. But it just goes to show that people only care about things they're told to care about. Man.
This is the book of Exodus, 23rd chapter, verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. And the reason I bring that out is a lot of you people out here, we took those venom shots because we believe, even though a lot of you actually knew it was off, and loads of people knew it was off, but they just did it in the spirit of, if you can't beat them, join them. That's the popular common thing that a lot of people were applying. Even with this whole Russia-Ukraine situation, a lot of people on a down low know that it's some bullshit, but then to show face, the same face, they're just on some, trying to be involved. Trying to be involved. Right now, there's a march in Central London right now, some from Ukraine.
So by the station, some little table that was there, there was, campaign. That's all bullshit, man. It's just crazy, man. These sort of using every little scheme to make money off the people, right? These people are so dumb. They just follow it.
These times,
British bombs are dropping in Yemen for some Yemeni kids.
here it is. Everyone knows that it's another illegal ass war. The UN said either, not too long ago, that's like one of the world's biggest humanitarian crises. That's just been going on and no one's giving two shits. No one, nothing.
Shows you control the position.
Yeah. It's we start thinking about repeating it because you can't go anywhere now. You can't do anything. You want to go on Amazon, donate to Ukraine. You want to pay at Tesla, donate to Ukraine.
Look at your mobile bank.
Yeah. You get a little pop-ups and shit. Ukraine, funding and all that shit. It's nuts, man. They got concerts and shit. You go there screaming, "Yeah, free Ukraine, holding flags up." Dumb shit.
The whole thing with the Tigray over there in Ethiopia, right, between Ethiopia and whatever that whole
thing is. But basically, you just having people. They say the new estimates like
500,000 people dead from that conflict. Where's the donations at, man? Why? Because he pushes things on the people that is beneficial to his agenda.
Beneficial to his pocket.
That's it.
And I just looked up on Google, over $100 million donated to Ukraine, but like to what? First of all, to who? And that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Because give it a couple of months when this thing dies down, because obviously the Revelations 13 to 16 has to come into play. No one's gonna have no questions when Ukraine is still a shithole, and there ain't gonna be no new developments. Things ain't gonna get $100 million, bro. You could rebuild a whole country overnight. But you ain't gonna have that. Ukraine's still gonna be a shithole in a couple of months. Yeah.
How's the poor?
They're talking about bringing Ukrainians into your house. Why not give them some of that $100 million and then let them go back?
Say, bring it. You wanna bring them into your house? They'll give you a little extra money. $350 a month. Done.
If someone broke it down, it was like $350 a month. But in London, what is it? What does 350 get you in London?
It's like, that's
You
Tesco.
can't-
That's Tesco shopping on the weekend.
That's just about a car.
Tesco shopping
Yeah,
on the
bro.
weekend. Fast expensive.
I don't even think you can get a box room in London for 350.
You get shit.
Least you get is that 5 billion. That's the least you pay for like a single bed. Single bed, 5 billion. Double bed. You can't even get a little fucking little tent for that, right? You gotta go down and look at the food shop there. Save the money. But that shows you he's a bastard manipulator, right? He's using everything in his power to fuck people over. As usual. You people deserve to always fall for the shenanigans every fucking time, man. Fall for the same open dog.
But that's why he's getting sloppy. I think he just realized he doesn't have to make the liars good anymore.
No, he just comes out and says shit. That's why they're just coming out.
Yeah.
And they're saying all that esoteric knowledge, they're just saying it now.
Yeah.
All the things that used to be hidden, secret knowledge, they're just coming out and professing it now. Like, New World Order, New Liberalism, all that. They don't even hide in this shit no more. These people are so gone. They're just ready to be taken, man.
They know all they need is a fact checker
Afterwards to be like, because it was so legit. I'm pretty sure I read it where on Twitter it was like fact checkers said that he wasn't actually talking about this. Like, bro, I heard what I heard. He said New World Order.
These people want it, innit? These people want it. They want security, want protection. You know, so they wanted to give up the civil liberty for that protection, not knowing that that's going to be more worse
Yeah.
than anything you've ever gone through in your life.
And they're still in the death.
Yeah. No good outcome. Any of it. No good outcome at all.
Hey, on Thursday, Russia reopened their stock market, and all of the Russian oligarchs all got on average 1 billion richer after the shit opened. But an average Russian is fucked. It's fucked. It hurts.
Oh, the whole thing with Alisher Usmanov, the guy that was going to buy Arsenal.
right? The thing is, he immediately did that whole thing because once again, they don't call London Londongrad for no reason, right? London is where you funnel all the world's dirty money funneled through London, right? That's, you know, all the, you know,
Clubs as well. The football clubs.
yeah. So, because basically with Alisher Usmanov, what he did was the day of the invasion, he transferred everything into a trust, right? And then by way of trickery, it came out
That all of the sanctions on him don't mean shit because it's in a trust, and that trust is now the head beneficiary to someone in his family. Therefore, he still has access to all of those things.
That's after you're insider.
That's it, man.
And living in London, despite the fact that there's 10 million people plus in London, there's no way that one of these semi-detached houses should be worth 450 something thousand. But then because like you've got so many people desperate, these zombies desperate to get onto it, and then you've got businesses that are trying to buy these kind of shits to then make it like an Airbnb or some type of hotel. Everyone's just putting all kind of money into it, so it's inflated. You know what I mean? Everything. That's how everything in London is. That's why this place is just, like you said, man. It's just a fucking cesspool of dirty money, man.
another one. And you probably know more about this. So, for instance, what's one thing that they pushed a lot? The 5% mortgages, the 10% mortgages, very low mortgages, right? So basically, your monthly repayments are going to be stupid. Yeah. So then, guess what's going to happen, right? He's going to squeeze you. Well, because if you're getting a 5%. If you're getting a 5% mortgage, you couldn't, wait and afford to save up more. So obviously your money's going to be a lot tighter. So then now he has squeezed you. Guess what's going to happen to your home? You're going to lose it. The bubble's going to pop, and who's going to own all of them houses? Oh, shit. So imagine, let's say Nationwide, right, has been the best at giving 5% mortgage. You got a new build flat. You got a whole building where you could, let's say Nationwide has let out 10 properties. Barclays has not let out, but mortgaged 10 properties. The other banks have mortgaged the last 10 properties, right? So when all them people default on their bank loan, the banks own that building. The bank owns a whole 30 building in one hit.
But
That is
genius.
And then that's the reason. And if they made you sign a personal guarantee as well, Then on top of that, if it's any sort of business transaction, then on top of that, then they also own the right to your shit as well as the building
look
as
at
well.
that.
So you're fucked.
Saying earlier, we hold up. We have to.
Well,
That's the way to do the world, man. We want to hold everything, including you.
World's largest wealth transfer.
Just read this like because you start on the thought in my head as well. I'll look up the term later, but there's an actual process here where, like, actually that's what it is. So, like with the government, they do this thing called bailouts for the banks, where when the bank is out of money, the bank will get money from the government. The banks have a process that they're allowed to do and no one knows, which is called a bail-in, which is basically if you have enough money, not even enough, if you got any money in your bank account, if your bank still puts it out there that they're struggling, even though none of these banks really are, they're by law allowed to take your money and then give you shares in the failing bank. Even if the bank then collapses, you just basically got worthless shares. So at the end of the day, you own nothing. You got no money out there.
Same, and people that think this is far fetched, that actually happened over there in Cyprus. I have a colleague who basically he was there, he was there the night before, and then basically the night before it happened, and basically had people just there buying crazy stuff. So everyone, just take money, take you to buy short strips from me because they knew the next day the government was coming to sweep all of that money away. Right, so these things have happened. The precedents have been set. Similar thing happened in Greece not too long ago. They imposed what is called capital control. Capital referencing, finance and money. Well, where basically the government said you can't take out more than 60 euros a day. These things have happened in other countries, and these are Western countries, civilized countries, as the media would say.
Countries. Do the same shit over here.
That's
it. Bank runs all of that.
These
You're
are
gonna be trying to run to get money out of the bank. You ain't gonna be able to get nothing. Man.
Yeah.
Tell you the banks are closed.
Yeah. There's a reason there's a government-backed scheme called FSCS, Financial something scheme, where basically they say that the compensation is the water, right? Where they say your money up to 80 grand is protected, officially speaking. We all know it's BS, right? But if you got $1 million in the bank,
money's getting bundled out into different accounts. That's getting sourced out to different loans and shit like that. That money's not in your account. So when you try and go to the bank, try and get all your money out, they're saying like, why do you want to take it out? They're very skeptical why you want to take all your money out. Try and make sure. And it's your money, but they're making like say you can't take it all out.
Same thing with guys like the Jeff Bezos, right? People say he's the richest man in the world, and this, that, and the other. No, his shares in Amazon stock, etc., makes him appear to be the richest man. But the reason I bring that up is he can't take out that money. He can't go on the stock market and be like, I'm gonna get all of my stocks in Amazon, because you know what he would do? He'd crash the economy. So he doesn't even have that money, man. But this is Micah 2:1 says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
Like with all of the different wicked evils that have had us in captivity, like even I was looking up ancient Egypt with after Joseph died, the Pharaoh that knew not Joseph when he was in Egypt, 430 years of slavery. The Egyptians put Israel in captivity, but the Egyptians had a nationalist mindset of every Egyptian needs to be good, or like, and every other heathen nation apart from the Edomites had that. These Edomite elites are on the thing of whatever. Basically, pretty much, even amongst the elites of Esau, you got fragments of beef and different internal warfare. But these Edomite's nature is myself before anything. The beast man that would make the desolation of his home and yours.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just that one power. Hold the power. Like, even if it means destroying their own. They want all that power. They'll do it. Huh?
Yeah. And it's a blot on your. It's a blot. I remember coming out Edgware Road. This is that Zone 1 London thing. You got a lot of rich Arabs in that area and that. I remember coming out, and the man, it was like a bed, an actual mattress outside the station with a couple sleeping on a mat. I'm like, yo, that's a blot to your society, man. Imagine here it is. You just come out, you think, oh, London's so bad. First thing you see is just pure poverty, man. That ain't gonna be happening in Israel. As you were saying, you know, every Israelite's gonna be good. The poorest Israelite is gonna be really gonna be good.
Ain't gonna be such things like poor Israel.
Exactly.
It's not gonna happen.
Hey, scripture says in the time of King Solomon, silver was a stone. You know how you just kick stones? You remember you was younger, you walking, kicking stones.
That's what silver was a stone back in the time. So imagine how much more it's going to be when you know in the kingdom.
Because when you look at Joseph as well, Joseph when he was in Egypt, where when he had the dream about the 7 years of basically good crop and the 7 years of famine, he put up a plan of how to save the nation. Like, you know, and then ultimately when his brothers came, he brought in, you know, his father, etc. But these devils, they artificially manufactured this famine, and they're setting it up to where that's the rulers of the people are. So on. Look at the contrast, man, between an Israelite and Joseph saved Egypt, man, at a point in time. To where they deified him, man, and then you got it to where Esau Edom is pretty much manufacturing a famine. Look at the mind state. That shows you the difference between, you know, Israel and Esau, bro.
That's why it needs to be destroyed.
This is Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Right? And that's Esau, man. His soul ain't right, as the brother's giving the example. You would think that he would be wanting to protect, but he's actually.
So like England is like part of what they call the G7. I think it's supposed to be the 6th largest economy in the world. They're supposed to there's enough money in their vaults wherever they keep the gold at and all the rest of it to fix this issue. They could they give it, like you said, they give 20 billion to Ukraine. They could have stopped this whole energy price gap over the channel in France. People are paying 4% increases. Yeah, 4%. It's by design, man. It's all fucked up.
They were saying,
behold, his soul is lifted up, is not upright. So brothers giving the example, and the
Apostle Rhymelove a year or two ago, at the beginning of this whole, you know, the pandemic, basically what he basically made the statement, they have the know-how better.
He took one of the biggest killers. Oh, that's it.
So even in his best desire to try and be tender, was cool as hell.
Just that's it. Well, do just. He ain't in it. It's not in him to be just. It ain't in it. It's created to be the wicked. Yeah. So it says the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. Who's the wicked on the earth? Who's creating? Who's manufacturing family? Like the brother just said. Who's creating all these wars and rumors of wars? Just to make money off the situation and get more power, gain over the peoples. You know, the Edomites, man, the so-called white man. They're the seed of the wicked. Talks about the counsel of the wicked. Psalm 64 talks about the workers of iniquity. That's them, man. Because it's the power in their hands to do better. But they don't want to do better. Because they know that's not in it. It's not innately in them to do better. They're created to destroy you.
Yeah. I was going to say, Jacob Rothschild, like, oh, I want to end world hunger. Then the whole meeting was stopping. Jacob, is everything okay? Are you all right? You and your right mind?
Jacob, what's his name? Andrew said for Philip, said he wants to come back as a virus. Why did he say that? Because that's in him to want to kill. They're natural born killers, but they want to kill, man. They're the first murderers on the face of the earth. First crime family that came into power during the Renaissance period was the Borgia family. Crime family, first crime family. And then these guys are notorious with crime, murder, robbery, thievery. Everything negative, they're about that, man. They're about that life, man. That's why you're supposed to fuck with the devil, man. You're supposed to shun them, man. Like my man said in the Planet of the Apes, shun them, man. You're supposed to, bring them, make them, congregate amongst you, bring them in and all that shit. That's what we did during the Dark Ages. Look where we are.
And the thing is, was warned about that. Was in Sirach 12. Said them not by thee. Lest he try and overtake them.
Even was, I think,
God. One of them camps had Edomites in the camp. They're supposed to basically bring it out.
You wanted to take Mobilize out, man?
Yeah,
you were trying to get Mobilize out of it.
Because they had Edomites in their midst, and the Edomite going just like
they were trying to usurp, right?
We're here. I was looking at a nigga.
You know, like a nigga going Nick. Well, Edomite going Edomite, man.
Yeah, you don't do the Haman on you, man. You don't do the
That's
Adonai on you, man. The devil behind it, beside you, like showing the works, the ins and out of your business. Look, man, like even in the movies when they Facebook and all them things there. Remember when they showed the Facebook movie, Justin Timberlake and all that, man? Like Zuckerberg and that, man. How he came up, he basically stole the plans of his friends, man. He basically they showed him the ins and out of a business, and then he took the idea and flipped it, and then stole the rights to that business, and now he owns the fucking metaverse, man. He fucked his friends over. They were supposed to be in a business together, but he ended up fucking him over for a deal.
Yeah.
That's how Facebook was started up. Show you that in the movie. So you can't trust this devil. He's always trying to find ways to shuck and jive, right? Wall Street, whatever that Wall Street and all that shit.
Hey,
With Michael Douglas,
Yeah.
you know, his own son betrayed him, man.
because that's that love of money, man.
Root of all evil.
You know?
And these devils are all the specimens of evil, man. So you can't put these devils, you can't put anything near these devils when it comes to power, authority, wealth, anything like that. There's all this amalgamate you try and take your ass down and take everything you own, man.
I was reasoning with someone, thinking about it. I was reasoning with a brother. One of the things that Esau does on purpose, right, is keeps poverty near, right? And what that does is psychologically, these people that are living that life, they look and they have constant reminders of how they don't want to live.
So they look at that poverty and they're like, oh shit. So then when it comes time for that promotion, they're like, look, man, I'm trying to get that promotion. I want to get as far away from that, from, you know, this couple of outside the edge railroad station sleeping in the bed. I want to get as far away from that as possible, right? So that's why you end up, man, them like Wall Street type jobs, them finance jobs, all of that sort of stuff. Those environments are cutthroat, man.
Slave, it started off with,
Yeah, it's not
slave trade.
That's it.
That's how cutthroat selling the humans in the market. That's how, you know, Wall Street got started in the first place, man. It's been ill, started ill, it started from ill got engaged, so it's going to end in violence anyway, man. There was no good outcome of, you know, what these devils started with at Wall Street. Yeah? And it's always going to be a bad outcome.
And you think, what do you call it? You think he's automating everything. You thinking them high-paying jobs ain't being automated as we speak? It's being automated, and things I can see exactly how it would be as well, right?
Where I see is they've right now got like some AI that's doing predictions, and then obviously humans are now actually doing the actual work. And then when the AI is doing as well or better than the humans, guess what? They're going to start firing a load of them stuff.
Yeah. Well, you had the very company recently.
P&O.
Get rid of all that stuff.
Yep. Start hiring them at 125.
Guy came out on the fucking webcam and said, look, man, it's your last day. That's how treacherous these devils are. They will come on the webcam and fire everyone on a Zoom call, man. They look, man, it's your last day. What do you mean?
Yeah.
My
What
whole
the
livelihood,
contracts?
innit, man? My whole livelihood, you know, my bills, all that shit's off the roof. You talking about this is your last day. You got the nerve to come on some Zoom call and talk about this is your last day. Thank you for your services, bro. You're putting people in a corner where they're gonna come looking for you, man. That's why I said they're not gonna regard their kings or princes. People are gonna start knocking on these MPs and all these world leaders, and you know they're gonna start finding out where you people are, man. Coming to your little reserved areas and all that shit, your little suburbs. They're gonna come looking for you people, man. People are gonna get fed up with your bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Just gonna come in the Zoom call and fire everyone. What?
At the end of the day, this is Rome all over again. Now it's happening all throughout.
But in Rome, it was other politicians killing other politicians, man.
Yeah, that's how treacherous these devils are.
Like, look at what's his name, Caesar, Julius Caesar, for example. Yeah, the whole the whole thing, title Caesar was actually taken from his name, and then ultimately, man, he got killed because pretty much they thought he was, he was getting too powerful, man. So they thought like, yo,
And
trying to compare the crashes.
Yeah.
They didn't want him to see all that power.
Yeah. I'm saying even here in the the UK, a lot of these politicians,
They always want to seem like a person with a peak. So they'll live in areas where you know, oh, that politician lives there. Well, I don't know whereabouts, but it said, what's his face, Tony Blair
lives in Edgware Road, not Edgware, in that Edgware Road area. Yeah, you know, because because I remember one time I was walking, I was like, yo, why is there bare cops, police driving all the just like out of nowhere? And then I just saw gun police. I was like, why are they outside? I was like, oh shit. I was like, you know, they said he lives there. I was like, well, maybe that's his yard. And, you know, it's mad. You know,
people are going to come knocking on your door, man. They're going to come looking for you, waiting for you outside number 10 down and all that. Just don't get people out here, man. That's why you had my guy that killed Amos, man.
Yeah.
That little Arab dude, whatever, hit him with a knife in the church. Get on the floor and all that. But that was like a, you know, like a orchestrated scene anyway. That was like some Christ like shit. It was there waiting in the church to see the night. Like, yo, you can't see nothing, but they're just playing the audio. Why can't you see anything? This is just a fucking flag. It's a false. It's called a false flag, man. But anyway, the guy said that he was possessed and he didn't know what he was doing. He just ran up on Amos' security guard. After half an hour sitting up there watching the sun set, watching the sun. Then the city said he was by some building. He was just chilling there, and after that, he just decided to got possessed. He didn't realize what he was doing until after. He didn't have no control on what he said. His adrenaline rush in his body. Which it could have been MK Ultra, man. They could have just tapped into him like a sleeper cell and just woke his ass up. Yeah. That's what he so does. He has a lot of sleeper cells like that. They can just wake your ass up. You don't even know what you're doing until you're finished doing what you're doing. It was just a pure adrenaline. That's what he said. Pure adrenaline. He didn't know what he was doing. He just went in there, took my matter. You know? So, you know, Esau, he thinks he's slick. No slick, man.
Oh, they show you that in the British Utopia, where
exactly. Guys chilling.
Jason Bourne, one of them movies, man. Sleeper cells, they're dead, man. They're dead. You know, I had a situation with the Woolwich, those niggas in Woolwich and all that. He was saying that he got approached by, you know, MI6 and all that. They was basically dreaming him to do what he was doing. These days was always got, you know, serfs behind the scenes working for them to do their wicked bidding, right? You know? Whether they know it or not, right? You can kidnap your ass in the middle of the night, do some fucking experiments on you, and the next minute you're in a zombified, bro. When he wants to turn your ass on, trigger you and turn your ass on,
Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thine enemy. But like his iron rust, so is his wickedness.
Yeah, but his devils never change. Go ahead.
You had it where on one of these news channels as well, another Edomite come out and said like he was talking about Jake basically because it was something to do with America and like Jake's complaining about continuous hell that they're catching over there. And then basically they came out and said like no one in this country directly benefited off the slave trade. So why is it that you want us to feel sorry about it? And then you know these Edomites as well, they have this thing where like they don't acknowledge the fact that they're benefiting off the privilege. They don't acknowledge the fact that they're able to send their child to private school and go fucking play tennis in Wimbledon and meet
and then because at the end of that clip, so was he done?
No.
They were saying at the end of that clip, you had the bitch be like, oh yeah. Women in England, they were against it. Yeah. And then I remember that clip, Bill Burr, he had a clip, the comedian, where he was on SNL, right? Saturday Night Live, he was hosting it. So if you look up Bill Burr SNL monologue, it's somewhere in the middle. But bro, he basically cut into them Edomite women, man. He was like, y'all are full of shit, you know, not so many words, y'all are full of shit. And he was like, here it is. Right, Wicked, you saying, that's right, man, we catching hell right now. You know, everyone's looking at us like the bad guys. But then he said, but when you were sitting there rolling in the blood money, you had no problem with that. And if you wanted to have sex with a black guy and you got caught, he said it wasn't consensual. That's the history of Edomite women. Yeah?
That guy got put in a sewer somewhere, beaten to a blood from death, man. You know, and that was just common amongst Jake. That was just one Emmett Till. That was a common trend, man. A common theme that Drake was just getting, you know, kidnapped and butchered and, you know, hung from trees, you know, and kind of lynched and all that. That was a common thing, man.
Oh, the mistress of the house, she'd be like, oh, I want you to fuck me, and if you don't, I'm going to say you raped me.
Yeah,
but you rocking the hard bit,
but you have no choice, you have no power, man. we still don't have no power.
Hey, the truth of that is in these jobs now, right? Because in these jobs, a fucking Edomite bitch can just be like, "Oh, you said such and such."
Now you're under investigation.
Still
If she,
works to get shot.
exactly. If she cries well enough, then the rest of the business is going looking at you like, I always knew there was something about that nigga.
They hold themselves not guilty. That's the problem. But they're guilty as charged. So that when this judgment's being called out, they're gonna have to face that judgment. They're gonna have to eat that.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to drink the dregs of that cup. Like we did. Because you're guilty as charged of what you did to us as a people, and how you benefited off us and how you still benefited to this day, living sumptuous and lying and trying to destroy us at the same time. The Lord's gonna hold you devils accountable. So you can lie to the people, saying first script. What? The Lord is gonna hold you devils accountable. Right? You ain't escaping the judgment of the book. No way, no shape, no. Lord said he was not at all quick and wicked. Never. Never. So you can do what you're doing, man. The only one you're fooling is yourself.
With these Amalekites, for example, they moved them even in London, they got them living amongst the best. In every Amalekite region, whether it's Stamford or Golders Green, wherever they live in, they're so come in South London. When you drive down there, they got their private setup. The roads don't have no, like the parking time. There's free parking everywhere.
They got the whole life.
They got the whole lifestyle, man. Yeah, Germany's still funding your shit, but then you got it to where, like, and a lot of these West Indian jakes are fighting back against the Queen as the head of state, and that. But then the royal family ain't thinking about trying to reinstate no money back to the Jake. Because at the end of the day, man, they know who you are.
But through jam text. You get the jam text. They'll probably give you a little that crypto shit. That's the only way it's going to fuck jam text. Yeah, that's hilarious. Jam text going to be the definitely.
Nahum 1 and 3, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power.
Right, offense the scriptures say
Because Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, where because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. You saw, like, imagine your son, when you clock your son been taking money, you be taking money out your wallet, clock him. Don't say, let me see it. But then he's like, shit, I got away with it. He goes, takes it again. Keep doing it, keep doing it. The thing is, these times the guys, okay, cool, I see you. Then one day you're gonna be held accountable. That's what the Lord is saying here, right? He's saying, look, I got power, right? Just because I ain't fucking you up straight away, don't think I ain't gonna fuck you up. So it says, and will not at all acquit the wicked, right? The Lord hath this way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. But the Lord said, look, I've got the power, and everything around it, I got the power over that, huh? Right? So all of the different things that, all of the different calamities that's going to come upon this road, Eve might think he's the one in control, but really it's the Most High that's in control. And it's going to get to a point where the Lord is going to show, look, this ain't no global warming. This ain't this ain't that. Where the Lord is going to actually start doing things in a way it's going to be spooky, man. Then he might try to say, what's going to happen? Then people are going to start believing in harm. Yeah. They go, no, it's not the Most High. They've got technology where they can cause earthquakes. They've got technology where they can cause, people go and start, because that's the thing, they can't, if they start having to acknowledge a higher power, they're going to start having to acknowledge that they got a lot to pay for. As in these general people, they got a lot to pay for the wickedness that they've indulged in, man. So that was that. But I've got more in Sirach 12, unless you got some. Okay, cool. Verse.
I love a Portuguese island, just in the spirit. Yeah? A Portuguese, hundreds flee Portuguese island amid fears of a possible volcanic eruption. One of them holiday islands.
I said earlier, you had a 7.4 earthquake over there in Japan, Fukushima, man. Right. So the Lord's hitting up these heathens, man. Yeah. The Lord said there will be earthquakes in diverse places. That's it. We visited that Fukushima's already popped up, and that oil spillage is already the waters. And then he hit them with an earthquake as well, the nuclear spillage, refinery. The Lord hitting them with earthquakes as well. that means the Lord's got hatred for these people, man.
Oh,
That same chapter you just read, you know, they first couple of verses, the Lord said he's very vengeful, angry. They said he's going to visit the adversaries visit anger upon you. Might as well read it.
So which one was that? The one of Habakkuk.
On the top. Habakkuk 2 and 1. Nahum 1 and 1.
The burden of Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum the Elkoshite. The Most High is jealous, and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious.
The Lord's furious, that's why he's visiting his heroes right now. Ultimately, he's going to come, you know, visit the whole world by way of those nuclear missiles, man. And he's just moving in, that's like Esau likes to move in phases. The Lord moves in phases too. Yeah? He likes to move his chess pieces on the board. He is moving, then, you know, when it's checkmate, you're done. You're finished. Yeah? But the Lord's always 10 steps ahead of you. You're playing at his pace. You're moving at what his protocols. You ain't doing your own. You're being controlled, whether you want to believe it or not. Because you're all the powers in your hands right now. The Lord's at the same time links the power at any given time. That's what he's doing. Showing you that you ain't in control of nothing. You're not gods. You're just men.
Just. For all this, even on that, you know, for all you know, he might have tried to release a bar weapon, but the angels just made it all fail, man.
With the nuclear buttons as well, they turn the machine on. When they feel like Esau bugging up, you turn the machine on. Then they be panicking. Don't know what the fuck to do. They just go on.
So the angels are just there laughing.
They're playing with you. The other day they saw a band of chariots in the sky. In Spain, they've been showing videos of Spain. I think in other countries as well. Over like army bases and stuff like that. You know? So the angels are always around. They're always watching. Right? They're controlling things through that through the Heavenly Father's ordinance. They're controlling what's going on the earth.
That's it. So it says, God is jealous and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies.
The Lord's pissed with all these other huge nations outside of the nation of Israel and 2/3 of his own people. So the Lord reserved all these nations for wrath, right? Furious. He said he was furious, right? And when the Lord opens up, wants to open up, he's going to open up.
Like you were saying about, you know, the Ammonites continuously getting hit over us. Ammonites, one of the joys of that. But what you call it? The reason why it's true is because when you read Sirach, the 39th chapter, around about the 20th verse onwards, the Lord basically has it said where it's like these spirits, they're created for vengeance, huh? Right? Teeth of wild beasts, storms and tempests, and you can add earthquakes and all of this and the other in there as well. You know, spirits are nothing. You know, because that's true. It's judgment of the Lord. The Lord is confirming it. You know?
It's going to get worse. Things are going to keep intensifying and get worse. It's still
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, you've got also.
The book of Joel, the third chapter, verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will be with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations and part of my land. The word Jehoshaphat, when you in the Hebrew is Jehoshaphat, which is the Most High's judgment. When you look up the word bleed, it also goes into the word Shaphat, which means the judge. So, like the Heavenly Father is pretty much saying he's going to get all nations within the Middle East, which originally, like you said last week, was the cradle of civilization, where everything started, and it's going to be where everything ends. For Eastern society, and the new beginning for us again, you know.
And it says, and I will judge them there for my people Israel. Because here's the thing, the Lord gave Israel into the hands of these different people.
So they've all touched the apple of the Lord's eye. So when these nations are getting judged, and Esau's going to get the worst judgment of them all, right? It's because of what the wickedness that they have done, right? You know, to first to the children of Israel, but then to everything else. You read Revelation 11:18. The Lord said, "Look, and we will destroy them that destroy the earth." And this earth is destroyed. Plastic. I mean, where we are first thing you said when you came, say, "Oh, these motherfuckers just, you know, dropping plastic everywhere, man."
The shops and spoilers right there, so they can fucking eat this shit.
Yeah,
And then fucking block
choke and all of
that.
that. Yeah, man.
You know?
And you watch all them nature documentaries, man, where you know they'll show you, and then you know all of these birds start dying, so we expected them, and you see their whole bellies are full of plastic and all of that.
And he will make it seem like, oh, we need. No, you are the one. There was already a system that was in place for millennia, right? Whether it was glass bottles, because what happens? You break glass, you make more glass,
right? Wooden chopsticks, chopsticks, wooden, you know, utensils or whatever, or you know, from copper and silver, right? For your cutlery and this, that, and the other, man. But no, it has to be plastic, doesn't it? It has to be easily manufactured. It has to be more aluminium. It's very hard to get aluminium out, yeah, right? But then he's looking at but as this properties
are those ways that the world was running perfectly before you and your dirty ass came on the scene.
But that's why the Lord is gonna have to get away, get. He's gonna have to, but your way, what?
Like what you're saying, I just thought as well, you saw Edom as the principal nation, but all the nations that we've been under slavery under, we benefited their society. Yeah. Because look at, for example, the Babylonians with Daniel. If it wasn't for Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar, like he wouldn't never had the breakdown of his dream. You have prominent Israelites in every captivity that pretty much not only helped to teach Israel the way, but they helped these heathens. You look at the Medo Persians. If it wasn't for Mordecai and Esther, Haman would have done his underhanded schemes and then brought the Edomites in to fuck them up. You look at even with Alexander, he had to get certain understandings from certain Israelites in the time of the Romans. Well, you know, you even had it to where, because Israel really wanted to physically rebel against Rome. You had the Zealots and all the rest of them. Yahweh's teaching was, you know, wait by the time. Ultimately speaking, he even benefited off having Jacob around to this time. You know,
this time to back you up on that. You have certain historians. So you get certain people that think maths and the understanding thereof, they'll attribute that to Greece. But then you get other historians that will attribute it to the Babylonians. But then when you look into it, when you look even further, you find out it was like it's attributed to Abraham going over and teaching them people about all of these different things. Because the scripture says, the Lord hath all the ways of knowledge and hath given it to his servant Jacob. Right? So everything that and you know how Jake is. You be at the job, man. I was at the job, man, this week, man. They wanted us to do a manual last task. Right? Go through the website, you know, doing this. Like, it was hella manual. I ain't fucking doing that shit, man. So, you know, the Lord put the spirit on me to basically find a way to automate that task. And then now the job got done. Well, hopefully on Monday, a whole load of the tasks will get done.
But they won't pay you a damn more.
And they don't pay a damn more. But that's what Jake brings to the table, right? You know, and Jake, we were more in our right mind way back when, because in this society, Esau has had, you know, he has basically done a targeted attack to keep Jake on the lower level, man. Because why is it when you have Jakes in countries where they don't get discriminated against in terms of the school system, why are those Jakes smart? But then the Jakes here have trouble.
Test the three kids, both three of them were Jake.
Yeah.
They were the smartest kids in the UK. Yeah. They had the highest IQ in the UK. Three different Jakes. The world is something like that. Little kids, man. They're just formulating, you know, getting into knowledge right now. Yeah. Just growing up, so they're not. But they know that, you know, that the show that Jake's doing, the young prodigy shows that Jake's the former good things. Jake is the former, it goes back to like father, son. But we're the chosen one, man. At the end of the day, it's not the project chosen. We're the chosen specimen. That's why we're scriptures to do it.
Hey, when Jake are in their right mind, yo, man, he gets jealous and envious because you know what it is with he was happy to say,
oh, you're a better dancer, you're faster, you're stronger, right? He was happy to say that. However, now you start seeing Jake and around.
but yeah, they may be, and I'm not gonna be, hey, if you're good on a basketball court, you know, like I'll be drunken on this, brother. But you're good on the basketball court, you're good. There's nothing wrong with that. But then when you start showing Esau up intellectually, that's when he has a
problem because that's the run.
Yeah, Esau always do that. That's why he had us fighting in the damn Colosseum.
yeah.
Fighting lions and shit. He knows where the warriors, where strong people, you know?
One people shall be stronger than the other.
Saying he knows that he's not on that level when it comes to competing. When Jake get into that competitive nature, we're the best at it because that's our nature.
Yeah.
When it comes to warriors, you know, war, all them type of things. When you come to the man of war, man, it's the Heavenly Father. And his son's a man of war also, right? So, you know, when it comes to competitiveness, being intelligent, like guerrilla warfare, that was coming from Jake. We didn't have to formulate a plan. We just came up with it because that's how Jake comes. We just come up with shit. And it works out.
Hey, you look at he made you feel like, ah, but he's just a musician. But it's like, yo, these are super talented tasks that these people do. Like, for instance, you see certain lyricists and this and the other, right? These will just say, ah, he's a lyricist. But then when you actually sit down and you break down what has just been said, and you say like, yo, that's some, you know, high level grammar. Triple, double, triple, all of that sort of stuff.
You know what Esau doing us when it comes to those kind of things.
Hey, you ever listen to like that? Oh, so you ever listen to a track like you've been listening to it for 3 years, and then you finally click with the artist? Oh shit! I thought he was talking about this. He was actually talking about that. Right? That's just the levels of wisdom and understanding that Jake gets up to, man. And you look at in terms of going through things, man. Yo, Jake's been going through things, and we still here. We start saying they gave us lemons, we made lemonade. But these people, 2008 happened, and they started throwing themselves off buildings, man.
That's why slavery is so good. To break something down, make them go for it. They're gonna have no remorse. We're gonna be bragging and boasting their destruction. Just like they did to us. They're gonna be the new cover of the byword of the kingdom, right? They're gonna be the song and dance, entertainment, entertainment, sport, be the kingdom for us. Just like we was for them. You know, we're gonna feed their asses to lions. You know.
Deuteronomy 30:7 says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate you, which persecute you.
Yeah, because they hate us and they persecute you. So in turn, they're going to be hated and persecuted. That's what we call eye for an eye, man. Even King David said there's nothing wrong with having a perfect hatred for your enemies. So we're going to have that. We're going to express that to the kingdom, bro. We're going to judge the Britain. We're going to have to show that perfect hatred for these heathens, right? Especially the Edomites, when it's all said and done. There ain't gonna be nothing, we ain't gonna feel bad, bro. We ain't gonna feel, you know, we ain't gonna be like, oh, blah, the Edomite and all that, let him go and all that. No, man. They're all gonna be judged accordingly, right? They're all gonna suffer 1,000 years.
None.
No one's gonna come to their aid. No one's gonna step in and say, no, you know, save Esau. Ain't gonna be no banners. Ain't gonna be no fucking GoFundMes. You know, none of that shit in the kingdom to save Esau. None of that.
When you look at history, you look at the Ammonites, right?
The Ammonites, this man went over there, dropped 2 atomic weapons,
and he's been raping Japan. Right? He's been raping Japan. You look at
those other cities, those
two main ones, yeah.
Then you look at, let's say, the Ishmaelites, went over there, the Ishmaelites, so let's talk Elamites, or so-called Indians.
Went over there, just said, we own India now. They just said that. Then they partitioned it. The partition of India said is attributed to the deaths of I think like 2 million to 4 million people, something like that.
That's the history, that's the beef that they have with Esau. They remember that shit.
Then you look at the
Ishmaelites, all of the wars in the Gulf states.
You look at them Japhite nations, they once again they're on reservations in their own island, huh? Over there in Australia. And them Australians, you hear them speak, oh yeah, you know, we went over and stole Australia. All of that sort of stuff. Then you look at the land of Ham, all of the things that Esau's gone over there and done over there. Point I'm trying to make is every single nation on the face of the planet Earth has a bone to pick with you, Edom. Once again, that's why the scripture says, right, that basically none is going to hinder, none hinder. When you go down, when we have you in captivity, when we're putting our foot up on your necks, man, none's going to hinder. Why? Because you've been a nasty ass devil and you deserve that shit, man.
Get what you deserve.
Oh,
Job 14 told you.
Yep.
They got so wicked. Say, that's it. Reap to iniquity, so you don't sow iniquity, so you don't reap it. It's only right, man. That's all.
God is not.
It's only right.
God is not mocked. Whatsoever man thought that also shall he do.
It's only right. Done too much. And they're still doing too much. But you won't stop. So in the kingdom, when the Lord stops you, don't expect to be mercy, man. That's one of the slogans in the kingdom. Just like your slogans and shit. You know, in the kingdom, one of the slogans is expect no mercy, man. You ain't gonna get no mercy soon. Forget about it. Mercy for what? After all that he's done.
Oh, just feel about that scene in beginning of Django, man. Where basically
I'll give you my last
they
one.
gave you my-
You know, Esau's gonna find something dumb to try and plead. Please don't do this. I did X.
Everyone's still judged. That's it. That's why scripture calls your people the bag of that. You've been running for justice, from justice for a very long time. Justice will catch up. That's it.
because they even say that to this day. Oh well, we ended slavery.
Nigga, you profited from slavery.
James 2 and 13, for he shall have judgment without mercy that have shown no mercy. And mercy rejoices against judgment. Hey man, the scripture says that even the trees are gonna rejoice when peaceful Edom is taken down. So you see, like we got trees over here and they're right by the water. Like you got it to where the sun's come out, these trees are right by the waterside, they got the best of both worlds and still they're not flourishing, man. And this is supposed to be spring. And look,
Hey, Esau's killed the earth. Yeah.
Hey, I was watching Green Planet, and you know they've got the satellite images from over the years.
Right now, Brazil is one of the world's largest exporters of meat. Right, so guess what they do over there in Brazil? You just have land,
You just see it go from all green.
gray, and the gray is just spreading and spreading and spreading. But they'll be like, oh, but that's in Brazil. Yeah, but who's it feeding? What structure is it operating in? Because the structure when, for instance, where
my parents are living, right? Yo, you don't have animals just mad excavating of land for animals. No, you have your chickens. Your chickens will be outside cooing, whatever, what have you. If you have beef, then well, you're kind of lucky, you know, the way that it is. But it's because they're actually operating in that Edomite way. It's package going to North America, right? This package got coming over to Europe, man. Once again, it's the world's largest exporter of meat. Okay. This is Psalms 149 and 6.
let the high praise of the Most High be in their mouth. And hey, when we're seeing this world go down, we're praising the Most High right now. Huh? So we happy seeing these things happen. So we're going to be even happier in the kingdom when we have these devils under our feet. Right? It says, and a two-edged sword in their hand. Right? And this is a future prophecy once again. Okay? It says to execute vengeance upon the heathen
and punishment upon the people.
Right, so you get people say, "Oh yeah, but that was the God of the Old Testament. God is all love now." No, this is a future prophecy, man. Right, and we're gonna be once again, as I said, we're gonna be praising the Most High, man. We say, "Hey, Carl, giving us the power over our enemies, man." Because right now we've been through a lot. Jake is low right now, man. Right, Jake is the least esteemed person on the face of the planet Earth. You know, it's you go anywhere, they're gonna hate Jake.
even in the midst of war, they have time for racism.
That's it.
Right? And you Revelations and what Revelation says.
Yeah.
They don't consider the fact that the Lord is
brother,
saying,
that book is sealed.
yeah.
Yeah. So it says,
To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains,
and to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh. So it's going to be an honor to have Jacob Rothschild enslaved, David Rothschild enslaved, and all you other elites, man. Right? It's going to be an honor to have your Boris Johnsons in captivity, your Prince Philips in captivity, man.
that's gonna be a real honor, man.
Because this is just again just to show the contrast and why we're gonna be a righteous rulership. Going back to our forefather Jacob, I just skimmed through it, yeah. Because not only did Egypt have a famine, but their money also failed, and he set up a system whereby people could get access to money. Sorry, to get access to resources despite all of that. Genesis the 47th chapter of verse 14. And Joseph gathered all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in that presence for the money failing?" Meaning we can't buy shit with our money. Essentially, they were like the money wasn't worth it because at the end of the day, the price of shit was inflated. And Joseph said, "Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle with money filled." And they bought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for flocks and for the cattle of the herds and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. And that was the first year, and there were similar things that he did in the 6 years of famine. But he set up pretty much a benefit system for the people of Egypt, even when they were going through what then was pretty much ancient hyperinflation with no access to food. But this Edomite is pretty much, you had Joe Biden come on TV and all he said was famine is very real. And they gave the coded language and then ducked off. It's going to leave people that starve and die.
Well, ultimately, the end goal of both those situations is going to be the same, and that is they going to own you. You know,
Pharaoh ended up
having all of them people in slavery, basically. They said, look, we've got no one else to sell but ourselves. So that's basically the same thing that Esau's doing at the moment, right? But he's just happy for people to die out in the process because he thinks the world is overpopulated, and he wants the population down to 500 million, right? But that's not what the Lord is about. Scripture says in Genesis several times, right? Be fruitful and multiply, man. Right? Because that's what it's about. Man. In the kingdom, we're going to be multiplying, right? This is a little. Yeah. If you get that one, I'll get the one in Isaiah. This is Isaiah 20, and I'm going to read from 21 to 22. It says, "Thy people also shall be all right. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, I have made it good. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in its time."
That's why the elect are being reserved. Because we're going to come back and replenish our nation. We're going to replenish the earth. So we're going to reproduce the vast number, right? Never before. Take over the earth once again. Like we reproduced in ancient Egypt. We're going to, that's going to be a vast, even major number. We're going to overpopulate, right? There's nothing wrong with overpopulating. It's just making sure you're doing the right thing, managing the earth. This devil doesn't know how to do. That's why the scripture said he needs place he needs for them to earn. Judgment, right? They do the total opposite. Sort of when it comes to that overpopulating and managing the earth. They broke the confidence in the Lord, instead of doing what they're supposed to do, they're trying to destroy him. Destroying the people at the same time. So the Lord put a new management under put earth under new management. Righteous management. Israelites under Yahweh Shai in return. Yeah, go ahead.
Zechariah 8 and 4. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. So it says, two quick verses. It says, there shall be yet old men and old women dwelling in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for every age. And the streets of the city.
So then they're going to go through age. We're going to live forever. We ain't going to die. We're going to be made for good. We're going to die. We're to die. We're going to be mortified. We're going to have a mortal body. So we ain't going to die. We're going to go old age. You know? We can grow up, you know, as old as we want to be, man. We're going to look as young as we want to be. We're going to have the power over all of that. You know? We ain't gonna, you know, break bones and get old and withery, you know, get old and grey and can't move anymore. We're gonna be under the curse. We're gonna be superhuman.
And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof.
Yeah, so kids are gonna be enjoying themselves, being kids, man, being children. They're energetic. You can't just lock kids up in the house all day long and then expect them to break things, to go crazy because they're just young and full of energy, right? Yeah. So imagine if the little kids with spiritual power, they're gonna be flying and doing backflips and doing all kinds of shit. So they're gonna be out there in the streets enjoying themselves, making noise like children do. Yeah, so there's gonna be nothing wrong with that. Right?
Trying to see who can run faster.
They showed you that in what's that? Wonder Woman. Not Wonder. Wonder Vision. Showed you her two sons. You know, they got spiritual power. And there was just playing games in the middle of the damn street. There was basically doing flash. Like, you can run the fastest. The uncle, you can run the fastest and come back. All that stuff. They was playing games. They had spiritual power. They was flying. All that shit. And what would you say? Yeah, make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
So it wasn't like, you know, they was on the children, kids. They're gonna be enjoying themselves, man. They're gonna live the full life. They will be living, man. We ain't gonna be suffering no more. You know?
Isaiah 11 and 8 says, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea.
Yes, we'll be able to play with dangerous animals, man. And animals that will kill your ass. They ain't gonna be killing no Israelites, even if it's a little baby. They're gonna be taken care of, but anyone else outside of that, they're gonna be taken care of. Either might try to put his hand in the crocodile's head. It's not gonna look too good for them. They're gonna get put into shreds. They're gonna get poisoned. Right, so anyway, with that, we're done, man. Those we will see you next week, man. Give you praise and glory to Yahweh, Prophet Prophet